Welcome back, everyone, into a very special episode of the Off Angle podcast. As always, I'm joined by my favorite co-hosts of all time, Jay, John, and Josh from left to right. We'll get the name tags up soon. Don't worry, it's still pending. And today, we're going to talk about a little I Am Katowice recap. We're going to do our top 20 player power rankings as of right now, at this point in the year, at this point in space and time, their current form, who we think are the top 20 players if the year ended today. And we're also going to do a little trivia segment hosted by John himself. It's going to be a guess the player. He's going to put me, John, and Josh to the test. Me, Jay, and oh my God, there's too many fucking Jays. He's going to put us to the test, all right? He's going to put us to the test. We're going to guess some Counter-Strike players. We're going to have a good time. How you guys doing, though? How's your week going? Let's start with you, Jay.
Good weekend. Strong start to the week with a nice little main dub. I think what was it, 13-5 yesterday? Nice little
13-4.
dub. 13-4. Rolled those idiots. Besides that,
Whoa.
nice laid back week. Nice little midterm to start the week, dude. But like, hey, we survived. We're good to go. And that's all I got, man. I had a boring week.
Hey, man. It's all good.
John, how's your weekend? Talk to me.
It's been equally boring, but you know what? Mitch Marner just scored an overtime winning goal for Team Canada, so
We're the only two guys who know
I
that
can't
means.
complain. Yeah.
Great game. Josh, what about you? What'd you do?
Josh, Earth
How's
to
life in the
Joshua.
Rika?
Me, I'm just a climber nowadays, so I went climbing this weekend.
That's why he's been
going-
big shotting us all the time.
Do you,
This guy's
Ah.
do you
climbing.
Maybe.
boulder or do you go
Who
rock
knows?
climbing? Are you like a boulderer?
Okay, so this past weekend I went boulder climbing, and
Okay.
this next weekend, this coming up weekend, I'm going to lead climbing.
Dude, he's
on a
setting
real
time off
rock.
in advance.
Of course.
Like you're doing like
Of
full
course.
ropes and everything?
Yeah.
Damn, good for you, man. That's
Nice, bro.
Yeah, that's
Nice,
Man.
dude.
It's been
That's
chill
tough.
apart
We'll
from that.
see who can climb the rankings in our top 20 list.
yeah, right.
Yeah, let's move on with that one. Holy.
On that note, we'll get into the first segment of the day. I Am Katowice. That's the elephant in the room. One of the biggest tournaments of the year, most prestigious tournaments of the year. Just finished wrapping up. And Team Vitality took it down. One of their first tournaments with the ROPS, their first win with ROPS on the roster. First of all, how are we feeling about this Vitality squad going forward into the year? Are they
I
going to
mean,
be a top one competition with Spirit?
Can we get Josh to rescind his take from episode 1 where he said this move wasn't good and it didn't
I was
make
going to get to
sense
that.
and
I was going to
Sayu
get to
and
that.
I
You know
just I
what?
just don't understand
know
how that
what?
was ever a take.
Anyone
So,
can make mistakes.
Okay.
I
owning
still
up to it.
think
Oh no.
Rops is not number one in that team for sure.
Obviously.
Yeah, we don't need him to be
Yes.
number one.
But I liked him being top one, but not anymore. I guess it's not needed. It was nice. They won
He was never
convincingly.
supposed to be the best player on
3-0.
FaZe. This last iteration of FaZe, he was not supposed to be better than Frozen.
I disagree.
Debatable.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I don't think anyone thought Rops was coming to Vitality and like taking Zayu's spot as the number one option. So a little bit
Mhm.
faded, but I don't know. I think they looked gross. I don't even think like outside of the FaZe game, did they drop any other maps?
I know playoffs, not a single
They
team dropped a
dropped-
map. If
They dropped
won.
one in groups and playoffs. They only dropped one map, and it was
To
to FaZe.
FaZe. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They
Which-
didn't drop
okay.
one in playoffs.
I'm saying in groups and playoffs.
Oh,
combined.
as a group, as a whole.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, they looked very
Yeah.
good.
They looked super strong. Apex was having a great playoff, as well
Apex.
as his calling was just super strong against Spirit at the end there. Like, I don't know if I'm going to call that an upset in the final, but I had Spirit winning 3-1.
I mean, that's definitely an
So-
upset. I think Spirit was like, regardless of who won between Navi and Spirit, they were definitely going to be the favorite versus Vitality. I don't think you can
Spirit
really
was
argue
favored
that.
coming in.
I
Yeah.
think
Mhm.
Spirit, as much as they like the players downplayed it on Spirit, I don't know if you guys kept noticing they kept saying they're not going to win the tournament and all this like really weird like we're going to get shit on. I think they were easily the favorite for the tournament, and I don't know, like definitely
For
an
sure.
upset.
For sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
I thought the way they handled Donk was pretty cool. It was a lot of utility-based shutdowns, denying him space, chunking him with a grenade like every other round for 40.
Mhm.
Mhm.
yeah, he was tanking
Never
HEs,
giving
bro.
him an ISO no matter what. They figured out where he likes to play on Mirage, and they made sure there's always some sort of buddy system where it's like you're chunking him with the nade so that the trade kill on his first entry is almost always there, and it completely kneecapped Spirit. I thought that was really creative and really smart. Going to be interesting to see how Chopper and Spirit try to get around that.
Yeah, like I agree, but I also think a part of the reason it worked was because Donk just had an uncharacteristically bad series and like a bad finals. Like the strategy that was implemented by Vitality definitely worked as intended, but like I think if you run that series back 10 times, Donk finds a way to get multi-frags in a lot of those situations, or he finds a way to play, like adjust his play style accordingly to where he's not eating all that util. I don't know. I think he just looked slightly off from the first map of the finals. Like it was like kind of a double-edged sword where like, yeah, they did a lot of good things to stop him, but also he just wasn't himself.
I think it was a combination of both. As
I agree.
as John said, like he was getting canceled everywhere. Like no matter where he went,
Mhm.
he had a horrible Dust 2 match. I think Nuke doesn't even matter because they were all bad.
Yeah.
And Mirage with the nades and the team up of Vitality, they just destroyed
Mirage
Donk.
was the one map I
Yeah,
watched where I was
Mirage
like,
was
okay,
so
they're just hard
abysmal.
like they're hard countering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
no.
felt like on Dust, like he had his opening opportunities that he had, like even on Dust, I think he walked outdoors and he like had a really uncharacteristically bad spray on Bit where he still gets the kill, but like he got chunked to like 20 HP. And I'm like, that doesn't happen like ever. So I don't know. He just looked a little bit off, but yeah, they were hard countering him on Mirage, which is actually really fun to watch.
Maybe
Yeah.
that means that they might need a change because if Dunk is not on, they're gonna lose.
I mean, that's been the case for a while with Spirit.
Me and
But
John
I
had
feel like
this-
you could say that about Vitality. Like if Zywoo's having a ghost game, they're not winning a tournament.
I mean, I don't think Donk was ghosting, but you definitely need him
I don't
to
know if I agree with
carry
that.
a lot more than the other teams in the top.
Yeah.
I think if you watch Vitality, you have games where the thing is Zywoo never ghosts completely. Like it's not.
He did for a while in a
He
lot of
ghosted,
finals.
bro.
Like think back to like Dallas
And a
G2
ghost
versus
for
Vitality.
him is like a low 1 rating.
That's
a
what I'm
ghost.
saying. Like it's different. But like you're telling me Flamesy can't win you a map? He definitely can.
No,
Ropsten
he can.
definitely
He
win you a
can.
map. I don't think
against
Spirit has a guy like that.
And
I
if you're going up
mean,
against Navi,
you still got
Zywoo to
Shiro.
be top dog.
Spirit's not or Shiro's not winning you maps. He's
And
winning
we've
you
seen
1v4
at least
saves.
okay, but we've seen in the major playoffs that like Magisk can clutch in like these big
Magic?
high pressure games.
Yeah, he can clutch. Donk's still a 2 rating with like 34 frags.
Yeah,
like,
no,
but yeah,
when
Magic's in
he's
clutch.
on, that's what you saw though. Whenever another guy in Spirit steps up, it is almost like their win percentage just shoots drastically.
Yeah.
That's my point. They don't have like
and
a
that
hard
is not the
consistent.
same. That dynamic is not the same on any other team, which I think Jay and Josh are kind of getting to right now.
Okay.
That they rely so much on Donk, and obviously they set up their whole system around Donk, so it's understandable. But as you said on Dust 2, usually when I see Donk on Dust 2, he's guaranteed 100 ADR, bro, and like a plus 10. Like on that map, he can find his duels wherever he wants, and he's usually just multi-fragging, out-aiming guys. But yeah, he was a little off on that map, but I think Vitality did do a really good job to stop him.
We literally said it though. Like you could tell on Mirage, their game plan was very centered around eliminating Donk. Nobody stepped up. Like, hey, they very obviously took Donk away from the map. Doesn't that give openings to Zontix, to Magix to go make plays? Shiro openings, like, it happened a little bit, but I don't know.
I agree with what you're saying. Okay, but like on that on that Mirage that you're talking about, Magic's put up a 1.2 rating. Like he had a lot of really like big moments that brought that game.
The game.
No, but I think that's more in part not just from Donk also having a bad game, but Shiro also kind of disappearing. Like they had 2 of their players kind of ghost, but like that Mirage game became close. Like what was the final score on it? It was 13-11.
It was
they were mounting the comeback.
It did become
but look
close,
at Dust. Like Dust is horrible for everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, they got mopped on
like,
Dust.
Okay, when I talk about somebody winning you a game though, right? Like they don't have a second guy who can win them a game. Magic's had a 1-2-1 with he was 18-14. That's not a winning me a game performance. That's a good performance.
That's what 66 ADR.
Yeah, and yeah,
That's
66
true.
ADR, like he's not winning me that game. I think Zontix actually had a better map than him on Mirage, personally.
Yeah, he's
And
just playing shittier spots.
even
The thing
then, he's
about
playing
that,
like he's not gonna. I don't know if that's the system
What
they
chip this
play.
guy?
I don't
Zontix,
know.
I feel like he's never really gonna win you a game though.
Well, he's never gonna be put in a position to win you a game, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he's just not getting the spotlight
I
to
yeah,
win
okay.
to win
I
all
think
these duels and win you game. They just have to play their roles as best as they can. And at that point, if Donk doesn't show up and they're all doing their best, then that's you can't really put that on them.
All right,
I
hear me
think
out.
that's
Okay,
valid.
hear me out. Why? Maybe Spirit puts all the major winnings and buys out Bit. What about that?
Mm.
I'm like Navi
No.
is not letting anybody not
Navi's
getting.
picking up the phone, hearing one word come out of their mouth and hanging that shit up, bro.
It's gonna be Dallas Mavericks Lakers trade. Same
Nah,
story.
nah,
Yeah.
no. We all know it's Kiyosaki. If
Yeah,
and when
like-
Spirit
like-
decides to make a move, it's going to be to bring up
Yeah,
Kyo.
yeah, it's probably
And
gonna hit.
I think
pay
it
him.
is if it
Kioske.
is when. Sorry, not if, because they're gonna do it. You would
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. He got his first LAN experience. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like
Yeah, on
a couple
land to
days
land.
ago.
I don't know how
Yeah.
he performed, but like
Not
I don't know.
I
too
didn't check the
crazy.
stats too much. I saw
I
they
can pull it
won
up now.
their first.
Maybe John can
series.
check.
They know
uh,
what they
That
have
guy.
in him, right? Like
They had a game against a stack that had Perfecto, Deco, and Norbert, I think,
okay.
Deco, bro.
which was interesting.
Did they play Under Spirit Academy?
Yeah. So Spirit Academy is in the final. They play against Egoisto, which is the team I was talking about, with Deco, Norbert, and Perfecto.
Let's see if we can run through some of these. Hold on.
So Kiyosaki right now.
Oof.
They beat Egoist yesterday,
Yeah.
by the way.
So he has a 1.23 across 7 maps right now. His team hasn't lost a game.
Pretty solid.
might be
Yeah.
time. Like
It's a
Maybe,
small
yeah.
Russian. That's like Launder's
Tier two
land
comp.
level.
no,
Yeah, it's
no,
tier
I
one.
get it.
Tier
And I'm
three.
not. That's not obviously the sample size you're looking at, but like, I don't know. They very clearly have talent there, and they very clearly have found a way to succeed with young talent. So like, I don't understand why you wouldn't, especially because I think we've seen the ceiling of Spirit, and I think we've seen the floor as well. Like, I don't think you're gonna get a performance from that team better than we've seen at the major. I don't.
In
Oh, probably not because when Magix was on like that, bro, he was winning clutches. He was getting like
Yeah.
important multi-frags that like I wouldn't say he doesn't usually get, but it
No,
was
he doesn't. Like, call a spade a spade. He doesn't.
like
yeah.
no, some of the triple kills and double kills he was getting
He
were
was
like super
winning
vital.
everything.
Yeah, and just to that extent, he doesn't play it like that at a regular level, obviously.
Mhm.
But it didn't seem to be a problem earlier this year. Obviously, what's called Blast. Like I wouldn't say either Magix or Zontix were like going above their means. It was just Donk was going crazy, and then Shiro, you got to give him credit. He was playing really well at that tournament, and
Yeah.
they had a solid like reliable option after Donk because Shiro just was putting up a lot of monster games. I'm not gonna lie. Like
You could argue Shiro could have got the MVP for that event.
100%.
And like the thing with Shiro is, you know exactly who he is. He's never changing. Like you know who he is.
Yeah.
You know the kind of opera you have. So if you're like comfortable using him in your system, I think you need to find a way to enhance your consistency somewhere else. Because you know Shiro's gonna post up. He's gonna save his op a lot. He's gonna get the kills he needs to get. He's not gonna do anything overly crazy. Every now and then he's gonna pop off, which is awesome. But
clutches.
He'll win a lot of clutches, and he'll pop off every now and then and do some crazy shit. But in general, he's Shiro. He's not going above and beyond.
Yeah.
So if you're
Yeah.
Magix and Zontix and Chopper struggling, it's just I don't know. Like you've seen what this team looks like when one of those three isn't. When Magix was
Yeah.
playing above his mean, they won the major. Like
Yeah,
so,
like
I don't
quite
know.
easily.
Yeah,
This is also a team that's like won 2 of their last 3 tournaments. Like they're not
Oh
close to
yeah,
a roster
no,
change.
I don't think
like,
we're talking roster changes at this point.
not
to
yet,
be
no.
honest.
But I think it's weird because if you're one of those players, you know it's probably gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a little motivation. Like I could be on
Step
the
up.
chopping block. Yeah, like I got this 16-year-old kid behind me. Like I gotta show out,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or else you'll
possibly.
end up like Siren.
dude. Siren's getting dropped from Bet Boom. All right.
Yeah. No.
All right.
Did you guys think it was gonna be that big of a blowout? Like in
No,
either
not
direction?
really.
I had
Like,
Spirit
no way.
winning.
Yeah.
like it wasn't
I-
competitive.
I thought it was gonna
No,
go
it
the
was
distance,
not.
but
It was not an entertaining
13-6,
series.
13-5, and 13-11, which
Man, even
Magic's
like 3-0 aside, the maps weren't close outside of Mirage. Like there wasn't
Yeah.
a point where Vitality felt like
Mhm.
they were in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was an uneventful final for like one of the most hyped events of the year, which kind of sucks. But I don't know, Vitality. You can't blame them for shitting on Spirit, man. They came,
No,
they did a
no.
good
Nice.
job, bro.
I
That's for
found
them.
it interesting. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but anytime anyone on Spirit would do an interview, they would mention like even after I think when they went into finals, and they're like, "Why did you guys drop a map?" I don't
fucking
remember the
suck.
question. Is like bad communication, bad ideas, bad strategies, bad shooting, and I was like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
all of it, like not one thing went
I
right.
mean, they didn't get a map.
No, but
Some
this
shit
is
had to go
this is
wrong.
before finals.
No,
No,
Don't
no,
say
and
that
then
after
no,
finals.
I
that was
know.
the quote from after
Zontix got interviewed going into finals about why they lost a match. I think it was those to EF.
They lost to
Uh,
Navi.
They lost.
It was
Yeah,
no, no, no,
in
no,
the
no, no,
group
no, no.
stage,
They lost a
to-
match. Oh, it was a Navi match. It
Yeah,
was a Navi match, and Zontix quite literally had a quote that was like parroted by Donk at that after finals. But that's the second time that was said. Where it was
Oh,
like bad ideas, bad aim, bad communication, bad everything.
yeah.
Like,
They're very blunt about it. Might be a Russian thing too. Like
I
they're
think they're a
very
perfectionist team. That's it.
that
If there's
too.
something wrong,
but
they,
when
they
you
just
watch them, they don't strike me
Mhm.
as a perfectionist team. They strike me as a donk kill. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Unless they
gotta give them a little more credit
I
than
heavily
you
that.
speak
disagree with
Russian.
that.
wait, what?
No, I'm
Do
kidding.
you know the ins and outs of Chopper's system?
I don't know.
All right. Speaking of teams that got blown out, Navi.
No, there you go. There you go.
Navi losing in the semis, but obviously they lost to Spirit before we realized that Spirit is clearly a horrible team compared to Vitality.
Relax.
How are we feeling about this Navi team right now?
Not really worried.
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, I'm
Go
not.
ahead, talk about it.
Not really worried. I think
No?
the one person who I was on his ass was wonderful. I think he played the best. Not afraid.
Really?
Yeah, I thought he had very, very strong moments. I don't think that's
In the Spirit Navi game or just the tournament
in
overall?
Kato in general.
That one series, I don't think he was great, but outside of that,
No,
yeah,
I think in the
Okay.
like I don't think so. To me, it's very clear. There's like I don't know if there's a mental block or like just they struggle against Spirit. I don't know if it's a matchup thing or it's they just struggle
What do you
against
mean?
Spirit. But I'm not gonna like I think it would be stupid of me or like at least I don't know what the word is, but like
disingenuous.
disingenuous, yeah, to be like wonderful had a bad or was the reason they lost or had a bad whatever. I really didn't like the shots he was missing on Dust 2. Like I told you,
Yeah,
there was 2 times from the same spot long where he cleared out long doors, came back to hold the cat cross, and just you can't miss those shots, especially in overtime. But
Mhm.
overall, I liked the way he played. I didn't like I think the rifle core in general of Navi didn't play that great, and I think Alexi, I don't know, it's almost like Chopper just outclassed him with calls on Dust, which is I don't think gonna happen very consistently. But it was what it was. Like he was getting out called,
Mhm.
they were getting outplayed, they were getting outshot. The series was close, so like I'm not really worried about Navi.
Interesting. Okay.
I
Mike, you have
agree.
a different
I
take?
think
Yeah. So like Navi, like throughout last year, I kind of had in the same group in my head as Mouse, where like the team performed as better than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's starting to fracture right now for Navi. Bit is still playing lights out, playing great. JL is looking a little bit more human.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could argue
And
he's
it's been a
looking
while
lot more
now.
human.
no,
Pardon, sorry?
JL has fallen
He's
off.
looking a
bro.
lot more human.
He
Yeah,
fell
yeah.
off. He fell off. for sure.
Ema has found like the middle ground of his form
Mhm.
between like early 2024 and late 2024.
Yeah.
Which is still serviceable, like for what you want out of him.
I think he's
Um,
playing his role perfectly.
And
This year he's been
Alexi
playing better than
B
last year.
looks like he's struggling to call Blade's book. I don't know. It's like every time I hear a timeout from the broadcast, it's like Alexi is being reminded by Blade, and it's not like it always feels like they're talking about something that's like why are
Like they
you doing this?
prepped.
It's simple. Like, come on, guys. Like we've talked about this. We've been over this, and we're not doing it right now, which is a lot different than like trying to change tempo or just trying to maybe get guys a little more emotionally
Mhm.
invested. I don't know. It just from the outside looking in, it just looks like the cracks are starting to show, and I think it's starting to erode as a team. I don't see them like they're a top two team right now. I'd probably place them. Maybe Vitality winning Kato makes Vitality in the top
They're in
two
that range.
spots
They're
with
in the
Spirit.
1 through 3.
Yeah.
But considering this is a team that did not make a roster change, you expect them to be like Spirit, where they're like a clear head and shoulders above everyone else who has to take time to adjust, to relearn things, to redevelop depth into their strat pool. But instead, like, I don't know, they just haven't looked that strong to me.
I think the caveat I have there is like, I don't know, in esports the honeymoon phase is very real, and like these guys have been together for so long that I I get what you're saying about Alexi and Blade, because even like I think there's a nuke listening where he was like where Blade was literally like, Alexi, like, dude, step up. Like, and it sounded like he was reminding him of prep instead of giving him ideas on like what like trends he's seeing, right? So
Exactly,
I
yeah.
get what you're saying, but it's just like this team's been together for so long. I think it's very, very obvious that JL is just underperforming. Like, call a spade a spade. He's easily, if you look at the level of where they were for most of last year, he's well below it. I just
Mhm.
don't see that lasting. Like, I believe in JL as enough as
That's
a player
fair.
to where like he's probably gonna regress back to his normal self, or even a little bit worse than what he was last year. He might not be
Mhm.
the fourth best player in the world or the fifth best player in the world, but
He
he's
will.
playing like he's like a top 30 player recently. So like if he just kind of course corrects back to where he was early last year, they're fine, right?
Right. Yeah,
Like it's not like the whole ship sinking. It's like the little bit of patchwork, get JL back into his spots and making him feel good and getting him to hit his shots, and they're fine.
that's true. I think it's a shame they're not at Cluj. Because a little earlier I was looking at their like matches so far in 2025. And the only team in the top 5 that they've played other than Spirit so far is the Mongols, who this was their first tournament
Mm.
back, and Senzu is still like dealing with an injury. But they haven't faced Vitality, they haven't faced FaZe. I mean G2's kind of up in the air and in a really weird spot. They haven't faced Eternal Fire. Like this is a team that hasn't actually had to like we keep saying, oh, Spirit has their number, and they were able to finally squeak a
Who else
win
have
over
they played?
Spirit.
That's true.
Like they beat Furia 2-0 as they should. They played Pain, they beat them 2-1, and it was a really close series.
Yeah.
They beat Astralis 2-0, but that Inferno game was Device going on a tear, and it was still barely
You
wasn't
could have
like
argued they could have lost to Pain too. Like it
yep.
wasn't a
And then
pretty
like
performance.
they played Imperial FE. Like they haven't actually been
So we're not putting
tested apart
any
from Spirit.
stake in them beating the living dog shit out of the Mongols.
Like
It's weird with Senzu's hand, right? Like I don't
And
know.
then the
it's
Mongols go and beat Eternal Fire in the playoffs.
That's
yeah,
true.
but I think that's maybe a little bit more on EF having bad stage presence.
Yeah,
Just something
Wolfswick
we've
kind of
known
fell
about them for a
off.
while. Like
Yeah,
You
it's
but
an
that
can't,
issue they've
was
been
that
you
was
dealing
a
can't
with.
lot
just say the
worse.
Mongols are not like a top, even like top 8 competitor right now.
I think they're top
they're
8, sure.
firmly in there.
Yeah. I was
I
talking more
think
yeah.
I think they're top 8, but it's definitely gonna be hard for them to climb. Um, I think against lesser teams, they're gonna win 90% of the time, but against top dogs, it's like a 30%. I don't
You're talking
know.
about
That's a bit.
Mongols or
Yes,
Talking
Navi?
about
about
Mongols
Mongols.
now, yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
I think about Navi.
and
Yeah,
I believe that Eternal Fire was just them having a bad game.
I actually
Eternal
think we
Fire.
need to at some point have a discussion about how good Eternal Fire looks across the past
Yeah,
2 or 3 turn.
Mhm.
Like they
We
look
yeah,
will, we
very
will.
strong. So
they
we
look
don't have to
nice.
dive into
We'll
that too
get there.
much, but yeah, I don't know. I just can't find myself like worrying about Navi, considering their best player last year is playing very poorly and they're still making it to the semifinals of Kato. Like,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
I agree with like pretty much what most of you guys said. I think you just stay the course. JL and Wonderful have been missing some pretty uncharacteristic shots that they weren't really missing last year. And they're as you said, Jay, they're still coming close to beating these top teams. And even if we were gonna think roster change, which would be pretty ludicrous right now,
No,
there's
I'm
literally
not
no
saying that.
one There's literally no one you could even think of that would replace anyone on
Well,
that
actually,
team
there's
right
someone
now.
who just started
There
streaming
is
their
there's
face of
one
games
there's
today
one man.
Okay.
that Jay has been talking
On
about for a while
on
now.
planet Earth in our universe, there's not a player you could upgrade right now. So I think you just stay the course, man. You got Blade, you got Alexi, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. I think you do stay the course, but I
My
wouldn't be too surprised if come the major, Navi is not seen as one of the favorites.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
my one caveat here is like we're seeing more and more of the JL tilt in
Yeah, it's
just
bad, bro.
like it's not even at teammates. It's like at himself, at
I
his
know.
monitor. It's like, dude, at some point you need to just dial it the fuck in and grow up. Like
I'm
Yeah.
glad you mentioned that actually, because dude,
it,
it's not even just him. Like Jail's been a pretty standout, but all of their body language has been pretty bad on
Wonderful's
stage.
is
Mhm.
bad too. Like
Yeah,
it's those two in particular. I don't really notice it from Ema and Bit that much. Alexi's
Mhm.
whatever. I mean, he's like you can see it, but also he's calling. He's very emotionally invested, whatever. But like, dude, JL is like, dude, they're winning these rounds, or they're he's like, I don't know. He's very, very clearly either overthinking or just like putting too much pressure on himself or his teammates. Because it's not even like he's tilting and it's like, you did this wrong. We need to fix this. It's just like, dude, you died. Relax. Like you're
yeah,
fine.
Mhm.
I don't know. And it's a trend that like was bad, I think, at the end of last year, and it's getting worse, not better. So as for
Yeah.
their placings, so like I don't
I
know.
agree. Speaking of getting worse, let's talk about some of the teams that underperformed, didn't even make the group stages or the no,
Probably
didn't make the
playoffs.
playoffs that were pretty much not I wouldn't say slotted into the playoffs, but they had playoff expectations, let's say that. And the
Mhm.
teams I'm specifically talking about FaZe, Liquid,
Face.
and G2. Do we have any fire alarms ring the bells about any of these teams just yet, or is it too early in the season to tell?
I would say I definitely have fire alarms about both G2 and Liquid. I'm not worried about FaZe at all.
Okay.
Interesting.
Mm,
I
yeah,
agree with G2. I think Liquid's actually kind of okay where they're at right now.
yeah, I do agree. I think FaZe needs to get their engine started as well.
They
FaZe is
need
the
a
I
only
don't
team
know.
that took a map off
Mm.
Vitality. I think
Yeah, but they didn't make playoffs.
yeah, but
Yeah.
because they lost to Vitality, like who won the
No,
event. Like it's
Well, they got 2-0'd by EF as well.
yeah,
EF.
fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, but like I get it, but also I think the emotion of losing to I'm not in there. Obviously, I don't know for sure, but like you play Vitality really tight. You have a quick turnaround time. You lose to EF, who's very very hot. Um, I don't know.
I, I don't.
Like
I don't think it's an argument to say they took a map off Vitality. I don't think that's valid.
I think they're the only team that played Vitality remotely close. Am I off?
3 Max played them kind of close.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Overtime in a 13-9. But
Yeah.
other than
I
that,
mean,
yeah,
3
those
Max
teams.
has specifically like their opera, I think is really good. So yeah.
I don't see a world
So
where this phase like I think this phase team on short notice looks pretty strong.
Yeah,
And like
but
I don't know, I think you refine the team a little like you refine a little bit and phase is gonna start winning their phase clutches and then they're fine. Like I don't
yeah,
know.
they gotta get
I'm
polished. That's for sure.
yeah.
of course
Mhm.
they gotta get polished. I just think there's more grandiose issues for a team like Liquid where it's like I don't think the JKS entry twists IGL works. I don't like it. You have to bare minimum fix one of them. You should probably fix both. And then for G2 is just like, okay, there's way too much firepower to be losing rounds the way we're losing rounds. Or like Monacy looks a little bit off and the whole they just look a little discombobulated. I really like Heavy God's performances so far, but like how long does Shuhei just sit there and not get phone calls?
Poor little Polish guy, man, dude. He's just rotting on the bench
Yeah.
when every team could
I
fucking use him.
don't understand how the two teams I just mentioned aren't throwing money bag emojis at him. I
I
don't
Bro,
get
don't
it.
think
Liquid,
there's a world where Liquid is hopping off the
bro,
twist train anytime
Liquid
soon.
just signed Magnus Carlsen for $3 million.
Did they actually?
Can you believe that?
That's kind of baller. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, they actually just did that?
Wait,
like a
wait,
couple
where
days
did you
ago.
pull that out of? That's
Wait,
I
wait.
swear to God, they signed him as like a, I don't know, content creator.
Yeah,
probably not a chess
no.
player, right?
These TSM has a chess player.
So point being,
Cloud9
it's
had
an
a chess
ego.
player for a bit.
Point being,
it's an
they got
ego
fucking
thing.
stacks, bro.
It's an ego
Like, they're
thing,
not
not a money
worried.
thing.
Well,
And I think
yeah, I
it's
think
twists.
you're in the middle. Like, you're so invested in the Twist thing now, man.
But why?
It would be.
I mean,
Because, bro, he had
it's
control of the
negotiate.
roster. He made the roster. He's firing coaches. He's doing this. He's okay.
Yeah.
Well, this didn't work with you, Kinder.
Someone needs to sit him down.
Nah,
Someone needs to sit him
let's
down and
bring
be like,
JKS
listen,
in. Let's bring Nerds in.
Russell, you're a great player. We just brought you Nerds. You know when you're playing your best, when you're not fucking Alexi being the minions. When you're
Okay,
shooting
no,
people in
no,
the
no. But
fucking
hear me
head.
out, right? So Nerds
just
so
don't
far
think
has
they're gonna
looked
say
great.
that.
He's
Yeah,
on
Nerds
this
fantastic.
is
Liquid
great.
team.
He looks
And
fantastic.
he was incredibly sick from my understanding for the Spirit game.
Like under the weather.
Like
Yeah,
he
very
had a fever of 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
What is
They
that?
were actually
Numbers?
preparing to have Mither play.
No shot.
Yeah, no, they were. Mither had to go get his equipment and bring it to the studio. They weren't sure if he could make it. And he had like a very down game compared to the rest of his tournament. And Liquid still brought Nuke to 13-10. Like I don't think it's crazy to say if Nerds is maybe in better health that this goes 3 maps. I still think on Ancient Spirit wins.
Yeah.
But I don't think this Liquid team is actually that bad. They've cleaned up a lot of the stupid stuff they were doing on T side. I feel like they've actually cleaned it up and like gone very, very simple with how they're doing T sides. The strat book looks really, really thin now because of that, because they cut out a lot of like garbage and they're kind of building it back up. So I think there shouldn't be alarm bells ringing for this team, apart from maybe Ultimate not being able to consistently put performances on the op. His rifling has been great, but his op has been like brutal.
That
lately.
dude can fucking rifle though, man.
He can
so
rifle
weird.
though.
It's so weird.
Can I ask you guys a question though? Like, can
I
we
got a
just go
small
across
comment
the board?
as well.
Go ahead.
No,
then
Jay,
I'll
we're
go.
not putting him on the rifle, bro.
No,
I
no,
got
that's not my
like-
comment. That's not my comment.
Minus JKS plus simple, easy.
No,
I have a small comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
If Ultimate doesn't fuck up against the Mongols, I think they make playoffs.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, easily. Oh
Yeah.
my god, so easily.
But that's what I mean. I don't think this team should be
Yeah,
like
that's why
Okay,
they don't
but
have a
is-
problem.
like ringing alarm bells.
But what are we doing here? What is this team's goal? Like, is
This-
it to make
okay.
playoffs or is it to win tournaments?
It's to
No.
win tournaments, but if you
It's an
aren't able to
iterative
win a
process.
tournament, what? Sorry.
It's an iterative process, bro. You gotta build
Exactly.
up. It's not established like all these other teams.
But
They got
they've been
new
building.
pieces.
They've
They got
been
moving
building
pieces.
and then knocking down
Bro, they
and then
just got
building
nerds.
and then knocking.
They just got
Nerds-
nerds.
This
You
is like
cannot
2
tell me.
tournaments.
You cannot tell me with a straight face. You weren't the guy calling for Yakinder's head for fucking a month, a year
Of
straight.
course I was. So let me
Okay,
go down the list.
so now we have
Is
nerds in the roster.
Is Liquid better
We're gonna see the returns.
with JKS removed from the lineup and Shuhei brought in? Yes or no?
I just can't tell you that because I've never seen that.
That's a joke.
I don't think it is
you,
a joke.
You bring in
Like,
Shuhei, who's entering? What's the like?
I don't
Obviously,
care.
you're getting. I would do this move if I'm Liquid. Obviously, I think Shuhei is insanely valuable, but I don't think you can just outright say, "Yeah, remove this guy, put in Shuhei." They're insane.
And you can put Twist in positions to actually open rounds. You don't have to go.
He's
send
never
some-
been a hard entry, bro.
He's
You're
never
gonna
been
put
a
him into
hard
hard
entry.
entry
Hey,
roles.
hey, neither is JKS.
Okay,
Well,
would
what
you
are we-
rather JKS sacrifice rules or Twist sacrifice rules?
But opening rounds doesn't mean you sacrifice. Donk isn't sacrificing. He's killing 2 people.
He's sacrificing by not playing his known roles. That's sacrificing. What do you mean? Who wants to entry, dude?
We're not saying
sacrificing
throw him
by
out like a
calling.
bait. We're
He's
saying
sacrificing by calling as well.
Twist, he wants to call. He wants
shouldn't.
to do that.
That's my whole point.
Okay,
He
okay, no, no,
shouldn't.
no, no.
That's
But
sacrifice,
he's
bro.
only been calling for 6 months. Like,
Yeah.
like this idea that he can't improve and he can't grow with experience, I think is crazy.
So do we want to talk about the Zeus interview or no? Because does that
Honestly,
not, does that
Zeus
also
on
not
Twitter
raise flags?
rescinded a lot of what he said.
Did he?
Yeah, so Twist's girlfriend came out and like brought up a bunch of points for what Zeus was talking about, and Zeus even agreed with her on a lot of things and said he regrets doing like the podcast / interview about it. Now obviously I'm sure there's like nuggets of truth built in there, but I wouldn't put too much stock.
Yeah, but you can
into-
regret publicly like vocalizing something and still believe in everything you said.
Sure,
So
but
but
he
to be
said
honest,
he
Mither's a
what
better
you're
coach than
saying.
Zeus.
sure, I don't think
That's a
Twist
good
is the
decision that
strong
Twist made.
leader.
I think the roster that Twist put together with JKS and Ultimate coming in was much better than the roster with Cadian.
Hey, but Twist also made that roster too.
But that's his roster as well.
Yeah, he wanted Cadian and Skulls.
Sure, but I don't think it was as hands-on with him creating and running the team exactly how it was supposed to go.
I don't
Nah,
think
they were
I
players
think
more,
what
they were
happened
more
is it turned out
strapped.
Cadian and him just could not see eye to eye.
I think the
Yeah.
biggest red flag is, first of all, the reports of how he was like struggling or just not willing to communicate with Cadian. That's not, if that is true.
Well,
is
what
horrible
he
leadership.
said was he doesn't believe Cadian is a good person at his core, which to me, if someone says that, that means there's no amount of communication that will solve this problem.
Yeah, but he didn't even tell him. Like you know what I mean?
Hey,
I
if
understand
I have
that,
problems
but
with you and I think you're a horrible person, I'm gonna sit you down and tell you you're a horrible person. Like,
I
At
think
that
there was
level, I
some
think that's kind
level,
of an expectation.
yeah, because apparently it all started with Cadian berating Skulls and Twist coming in to protect him. That's what the start of this was.
well, he dropped Skulls anyways, so
Well, Skulls
Well, no,
Skulls wanted out.
Skulls wanted to
Yeah.
go to Furio.
I'm out of the loop here, guys. I'm be honest. I didn't watch the podcast. I
I-
just saw the hate and stopped reading.
The main things is
essentially
Zeus was
did
saying he doesn't believe in Twist as a leader, as him personally, as a leader of men that you need. Like he said, he's not bad tactically. Of course, he understands the game at a very high level. But the things Russ was doing behind doors just did not signal leadership, did not signal captain of the team. And that's why he said he doesn't really believe in him being an agile going forward. He said, "You're welcome to prove me wrong. I'd love to eat my words. It can be water under the bridge. But as of right now, and the experiences I've had with Twists, I don't think he can be a leader." That was
think-
basically the synopsis, and then he gave a bunch
Yeah.
of anecdotes from their time in Liquid together, and it was painting Twist in a pretty bad light. Especially because the main thing he was saying was that he just wouldn't communicate what the problem was. So he said,
Mhm.
"Katie, I wouldn't like your calling. Okay, Russ, what's wrong with my calling?" And then he wouldn't tell him the reasoning behind that or a lot of other things. Again, you got to take a grain of salt. It is Zeus talking like a year later on a podcast, so we don't know
and you
how
got to look
true
at the
what
podcast
it
it was
is.
on too. It's like
Yeah.
you're getting fired up,
Yeah.
right? Like,
You're
but
getting Thorn and Maui.
Yeah.
Back there going,
Did he say anything positive about it? About the relationship?
I think he
Like,
made a
not
couple
really.
points about how he believes in him tactically. Like that was
Barely. Like he
to me.
he said
I
he's a
just
good guy.
I think
Yeah.
leadership is very undervalued in esports in general, and I think like you have to be able to communicate and like show people that you're worthy of being believed in if you're gonna sit here and tell them exactly what to do every day
I-
in practice and in games and in situations where there's hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line. And if people can't believe in your ability to be a leader, it's very tough to call in and out of game.
Yeah, it can't be blind faith, is what Zeus was
Yeah.
saying.
I agree with that, but I think it's also worth noting that like there's different types of leadership and different people react differently to different like types of it. So I wouldn't I don't think it's fair to cast off of just the one comment on Zeus and say Twist has no leadership capabilities amongst
Right.
people, like emotionally. And it's just like,
Right.
yeah, well, maybe guys like Nath and guys like JKS react to a different type of leadership. It's not about the talking and communicating. It's about seeing the person put work in. It's about seeing, sometimes some guys lead by example, some guys lead by motivational speeches, some guys lead through fear. Like different people react positively and negatively to different styles. So I don't think it's fair to say he has no qualities of
Right.
leadership among guys, especially because like the face guys all loved him and he's secondary led on that team.
Yeah, but they had the big dog leading. They had a leader who they believed in, and it was not Twist. And I think it's important to note here too that this is very secondary or even like tertiary to me. The biggest problem I have with Twist IGLing is that you're taking what is to me one of the strongest rifles in the world, and you're limiting him hard. And like
I don't think it's limiting him that much.
Like he's still putting up fucking numbers, bro.
Yeah,
But
he's
I
still
do
putting up
understand what you're
numbers.
saying. He's gonna be more unleashed if he's not having to look at the minimap all the time and call plays, which I do
I
agree
think
with.
Shuhei comes in and instantly helps ultimate and twists. And
Yeah,
then
I don't disagree.
Sure.
Can I say
the
something
Op
real quick?
Whisperer. Good.
Of course, Josh.
Seuss, 2 majors. Mither, 0.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
Hey, you can't
We
argue
got-
with facts.
We got a math genius over here.
All right, let's move along into the next segment, something I like to call buy or sell. I'm going to give you guys a prompt based on Katowice, and you're going to tell me, are you buying this prompt or are you selling this prompt? AKA, do you like it, do you agree with it, or do you disagree? All right. The first prompt is Virtus Pro are a top 10 team in the world. Buying or selling that statement?
Buy. Throw a stack of money on that bitch.
Yeah, I'm buying it. I don't know if I'm throwing stacks on it, but I'm buying.
I would say they're the 10th team in the world.
10? They just sneak
10th?
in?
Better than
I
Yeah.
think
Astralis,
they
better
have a
than Fear.
little bit of a air gap.
I don't know. Like I would
Who
love to
you-
play devil's advocate because I'm selling the shit out of this. First of all,
You know what? I might too. I might refund.
No, I
Yeah?
think they're 10th minus. They're more on the 11th side than 10th, but
Like
Mm.
right
they're
now
still 10th.
or future.
like right now, going forward in the year.
I mean,
I'd sell. I just don't think they. Yeah, no, I'm selling.
I have him as number 9 right now
Okay.
in my little
Okay.
head
You have
canon.
them ahead of
And that's
Mouse?
I'm curious. Who do you have at 10?
Gamer Legion.
So I would
Okay.
put them like. I'm still high on the Falcons project enough to where they're gonna eventually take that spot, and I don't think they're better than Mouse, and I don't think they're better than Gamer
love
Legion. So they're
Falcons.
like, it's like
I
them
mean-
paying 13, like 12, 13, 14.
It's hard to
area.
know what Mouse is going to look like going forward.
Well, I just saw their ranking. Like they just got to top 10 because of playoffs, which I think they sneaked in. You know, they
VP,
like
yeah.
yeah,
They did sneak in.
yeah.
But
And
they
then they
also
got
got
rocked
the stand-in, no?
playoffs. For playoffs, yes.
playoffs,
But
So
for the group stage, like they beat EF. They beat
Which is
G2 and then they beat
respectable.
EF. Yeah, those are good wins. And
Those
are
the
very
EF
good wins.
series, all close maps. And then they got the automatic pass because obviously they made the upper final.
Mhm.
So they really only won 2 series this event. And one of them was
Yeah.
G2, who we are all kind of like shaky on right now.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So and then even EF, like they're not the most consistent team. So I just think VP, they didn't have like an easy bracket per se, but I think they played well this event. Can't take it away from them. I just can't see them sustaining these kind of results going forward, especially when like EF is more established, G2 is like more comfortable,
So,
maybe they
like-
make a roster move. Falcons, like you said, they might get a little better.
I don't know that they need to maintain this level to be a top 10 team.
I think they do.
I don't think that, like, if we assume the world corrects itself and G2 slots somewhere in the top 5 and EF is 6 through 7, like those teams they can get away with dropping to and still being a top 10 team. They're probably better than Gamer Legion, or they're right there with them. They're better than Furia, they're better than 3D Max. I think they're better than Astralis. They're kind of, to me, on like the level of where I put Pain. So
I think
like,
Pain can give them a run for their money. Gamer Legion can give them a run for their money. Falcons going forward. I'm not really high on Falcons, so I don't even know if I'm fully
yeah, I
invested
think Falcons
in that.
is ranked like, if we go Valve rankings, they're like 8th. So
Falcons, yeah.
Yeah, because they have the heroic core.
yeah.
The thing with Virtus Pro is like they've lost to Vitality twice. Both like they got eliminated by them at Bounty.
Yeah.
Which is like a really unfortunate early draw in
Yeah.
Bounty. And then in the play-ins they lost to Pain 2-0. Which I mean that Pain looked really good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of that
I
team,
fuck
obviously.
with Davudeus, bro.
But they 2-0 MIBR, they 2-0 Saw, they 2-0 G2, they 2 on Eternal Fire. They've only really lost to Spirit and Vitality
Yeah.
and Pain.
Okay,
like,
but
when I
if
looked-
they're going up against the other teams, you're taking them?
I'm
If
still
they're playing
selling. I'm
Liquid
selling.
tomorrow?
I mean, I think if they play Liquid tomorrow,
Is Shuhei
I think
calling?
it's a 2-1 series. Flip a coin, see who wins.
Is Shuhei calling?
Flip a coin? That's crazy.
I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's
taking
crazy.
taking Liquid in a clobbering.
Yeah,
No,
you also woke up at 6
clobbering,
a.m. to watch him get 2-0'd in 5 minutes.
you got Icy versus Ultimate on the op.
Icy Vert.
It's not even
Like-
close. Like,
Icy's mid
give
as
me
hell,
Icy.
bro. Icy is so
saying Icy's
damn
mid as
mid.
hell is crazy.
He's so damn mid.
I think Icy's the
Move
best
on
player
to your
right now.
next buy or sell, bro. This is
All
bullshit.
right,
Yeah.
all right. Next, buy or sell. Eternal Fire are comfortably a top 5 team moving forward. Buy or sell.
Sell.
Damn, I'm gonna
comfortably.
run out of money. Bye.
No, I'm selling. I love that team, but comfortably, no.
Josh?
Fuck. This is a tough one. Like, if they perform, like, Centaurus is always going to perform. I think.
Lantaris.
And if Walksick performs.
Keeps up this form. Ooh.
Like, the last series was awful for him, for sure.
But
Yeah.
outside of that, he's been exceptional this
He's
year.
been fucking fantastic. The
Take
thing
my
with
money.
me is I think
Take my
Joda
money.
just really elevates the floor that Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
He
Yeah,
does,
yeah, yeah.
man.
Calyx out of there was great.
he doesn't do I was expecting a little bit more firepower from someone who's never watched him play. Like just off what I heard.
Okay.
But dude, he's very sound. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
He's
he's
super
just a-
sound.
he's
He
a
has
sound
good
player, makes
decisions,
good decision making.
and he can play
he's-
by himself. Like you don't
Yeah.
need to manage him.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only thing is top
so my-
5, like Navi,
Top 5,
Vitality,
it's
Spirit,
tough company,
FaZe,
man.
G2.
But
I don't know.
G2 is not a top 5 team right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Mouse is not a top 5 team right now. Like 2 big players in the top 5 have completely fallen out. And to me, Eternal Fire is one of the guys to fill that spot.
So
Mhm.
your thought process here is they're not better than Spirit, Vitality, Navi. Can they be better than the Mongols or FaZe?
Yes.
See,
I think
to
so.
me, it's more like
Yeah.
is
I know
the-
Mongols just beat them, so it's kind of weird to say that, but like they
To
also beat
me,
FaZe, I guess.
it's
So that's like
kinda
maybe a little
like-
triangle.
EF versus the field. I'm taking the field. I think there's 1 or 2 of these teams where like a comfortably top 5. No, can they be a top 5 team? Yes. I just not comfortably.
All right,
They're
what
not
if I
cruising
worded
in
it?
the top 5.
What if I worded it? Are they a top 5 team going forward?
Yeah, I'd buy that. I don't think
I'm
it's
also-
like
I'm
I think
also buying.
Vitality, Navi, Spirit, comfortable top 5 teams. I don't
Top
think
3.
EF is there. Top 3 even.
I think EF Mongols are slightly above FaZe right now in
I would agree.
as teams
Yep.
and like as Josh was saying, polished even with a new pickup, they look
Mhm.
pretty sound.
I agree.
And I think you can make an argument that they're better than the Mongols. I know they just lost, like you said, John, but
Mhm.
showing from Bounty how well they played, especially in
Mhm.
Yeah.
playoffs.
That's why
There
there's just a lot
didn't
of
seem
ifs
to
for me.
be. There's a lot of
That's
ifs, so
fair.
that's why it's a buy or sell. You know, you gotta risk it to make it, baby.
How much money do they have
I'm
left?
double selling. I might be rich.
Yeah, you're rich. Josh is broke.
I'm
Josh
extra
is
next
broke.
one. We
I'm
got.
broke and I'm still buying. I'm going into debt now.
I have a feeling most people are gonna buy this one.
Yeah.
Gamer Legion is here to stay at the top of tier 1.
Hell yeah.
I'm buying that.
Josh,
I really like Rez in this lineup.
Josh, I'm seeing a little reserve on your face right now.
Maybe. I think
Not
I'm
an
going
answer,
broke.
bro. Not an
I think
answer.
I think I'm going broke if I buy more prompts. You know,
Hey, man.
maybe I have to sell this one.
I mean,
they
I
gotta
watched
prove
these
Wow.
it.
guys. I watched.
They
these
gotta
guys
prove
play, and
more.
they're
They gotta
just
prove
like-
more to me, in my opinion.
I gotta prove a little
Interesting.
more. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna start selling my VP stock so I can buy even more Gamer Legion in
Hey,
tier
I'm
1
in on
stock.
that. I'm in on that.
I like that.
Because I love everything that this team is doing right now. Apart from just playing sound quality CS, it's fun CS. Like their games are fun to watch.
Yeah. I agree.
Fun team, man.
The Res revival is something I'm really loving to see.
That's
I
just the
think Spenny,
nip
you touched
drop
upon
revival.
the post nip
Yeah.
bonus
Post-nip
or
buff.
buff. I think what's his name? PR?
PTR.
Like
PR.
Crazy
Oh,
fine.
sorry. Whoa,
Another. Did you say BTR?
Yeah, it's ZTR.
Whoa,
Whoa.
throwback.
Beater.
OP. No, I'm absolutely loving. Like, I'm not gonna say he was like a gem in the rough that they found, but like he got removed from Mao's at NXT, I think,
Mhm.
I can
or
check. I
he
believe
just
so.
wasn't maybe like performing too strong there.
I think he got benched there.
Yeah, he got benched, but he had like flashes
Center.
of good, and like he just seems completely unlocked here. Which is another case of Ash taking a player from Mao's NXT, bringing him on, and completely unlocking him. And we saw what happened to that guy. Now he's benched. Um, so
Unlucky.
I'm excited to see what's going to continue with this team. I think they're just good enough to be in tier 1 for the rest of the season and have 2 more players
Yeah.
poached in the next offseason. I think they're going to be stuck in that Mao's cycle for a bit, and they're going to have to either catch a guy on like a longer term contract or just get some guys who are really deady to the organization and to the cause, that are willing to stick around. Rez is kind of a good example of that. He might be someone who's willing to say, hey, you picked me up off of NIP and I found great confidence here. I want to stick here. Let's ride this wave. Get some more veteran influence on the team. And I'm excited. I don't know.
I think we
I'll
might
give
need to have
you-
an Ash
I'll give you my
conversation at some point.
reason.
Yeah.
I'll give you my reason as to why I'm selling. I was watching some of their IEM Dallas matches, and
Oh, the
that was
online
against, like-
qualifier where they had to play against a cheater?
Yeah, but apart,
did.
did you watch Medisport?
I
that was
did. I was not available to see the medicine.
Okay, that was a fun match to watch,
Mm-hmm.
but they were committing so many mistakes.
There's a lot of random plays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it looked like they were not on the same page there.
I.
Maybe they were coming out of, Kato, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Bro,
know,
they
bro.
2-1
Like,
Hesta. Doesn't get more legit than that, dog.
I think it's worth
Cheaters,
noting,
dude.
like they had Ash on the coaches roundtable for Kato, and he brought up how like online CS sucks and it just doesn't count. Like you run into cheaters, you run into guys who are just not playing legitimately. I mean, even at our level, like we run into some scrims against teams online, and it's just like they do crazy shit that you're never expecting in an actual game.
Yeah,
Seems like that happens also. I mean, online warriors, onliners, that's a term we have all known and we've come accustomed to. There was a whole online era where a bunch of no-name guys basically became top players, because they're able to abuse part of what playing online is like. I
think it's
think
part of the game.
LAN results matter, and on
Yeah.
LAN, they're great. And I've seen great LAN teams struggle in online qualifiers.
Face line.
Yeah. So I'm not going to put too much weight into like that Mesiport game. I also didn't see it. I'm sure it was probably sloppy. They also
it was
could have
fun.
just
It was
been
fun to watch, but it was sloppy.
tired and yeah. Yeah,
I'm
I don't
just
know.
here for
I'm
the Res
definitely.
revival,
I was
dude.
high on this roster to begin with at the start of the season, and I'm still like somehow they surpassed my expectations, and I'm even higher on them now.
I really like Res for sure. I think
Mm-hmm.
when he came into NIP with Forrest and Gerrit and those guys,
Mhm.
it was awesome to see like a new face in that team, and he was really good. He fell off, of course, later. And now he's
Mhm.
back, and I really like PR. I think that guy is great as well.
I mean, he's
Both pickups
performing.
are
I don't know
great.
if he can keep that level up. He looks very strong. He looks very
Mhm.
comfortable in that roster as well. And
Yep.
yeah, I think we might have to eventually have a conversation about Ash and his impact on rosters.
Bro, Ash is fucking nice, bro.
Mhm.
He just has. He seems like he like has a lot of buy-in from his players, man. Like it feels like he makes everybody feel very comfortable in their spots. And like, dude, I don't know, like. How much longer can you consistently bring teams up before
Yeah, the results speak for
T1 orb takes
themselves,
a
bro.
look?
That's what I'm saying.
They're
He's
different slots, though, right? Like coaching G2 is a very different thing
Not
than
anymore. Nico's
coaching
gone.
Gamer Legion. No,
It is,
okay.
but the thing is, they chose that regime. They wanted the kind of like happy-go-lucky cheerleader kind of coach. I think you could argue that G2 would benefit greatly from getting Ash. to
No,
fix
I
up
Yeah.
I think I
their
maybe
backers.
mean it more from a perspective of respect from the players.
Respect, sure. I know a lot of like talking heads and pundits, like they kind of clown on him sometimes. Like, yeah, this guy's a YouTuber,
YouTube
you
coach,
know,
yeah.
putting out fucking content while
Which great
coaching.
YouTube content. That
I like
guy's
the
media
content.
creation,
Hey, I
high
can't lie.
quality. It's
I fuck
great.
with the content. It expands my CS knowledge.
Like,
And I can only
is Alicia
assume
content creator too? Then, like that's bullshit.
it's different if you're a player.
It's
though.
different.
It's not, man.
It's a little different,
It's
bro.
a bit
It's a little
different.
different because
Results
he.
are results are results.
No, that's what I'm saying. At some point, you just have to respect the results that he's bringing these like call a spade, just
Tier 2
under
teams.
talent, like yeah, like subpar talent compared to the other teams they're going up against, and they're having sound results, man. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. I agree. I'm buying this. I'm excited to
Buying.
see how they kind of progress through the year because yeah, as you said, Josh, they're a little bit
Shaky, for sure.
unorganized. Yeah, like at some points they're a little shaky and unorganized,
Yeah.
It's
but
also a new roster though.
they're a new roster. It's a bunch of young guys. Like they're a fun ass team. I like them, bro. I'm gonna ride the wave.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Understandable.
All right, and my last buy or sell, we have Liquid. The team Liquid needs to make a roster change in order to compete for titles.
Buy.
So if I buy that, it's gonna be something's gonna be changed, right, on the team?
You
Yeah.
agree with the statement if you're
Yeah,
buying
you
it.
gotta buy
Okay,
that.
no.
We're
I'm
buying
I'm
that.
I'm selling. I think I'm
I-
more on the
Sure.
selling side.
I'm neither buying nor selling. I think,
Here we go.
Wait, what?
dude,
That's
I
not
could see
possible.
this team getting like a fluke win. I don't know.
To
I
compete for
think-
titles.
That's not what competing for titles means.
Is that
Get off
okay?
the
If
fence.
we're talking about
pick
competing
one.
for titles, then like I do think they're one move away, potentially two.
Yeah, we argued for 30
Um,
minutes.
Yeah, we've already really talked about that.
We argued for 30 minutes, but you agree that they need a roster change. That's
They need a
crazy.
move. I just don't think the move needs to happen
Wait, but
right
Simple,
now
you
at this
said-
instant, and it doesn't have to be Shue.
You said before there's no need for change, but now you
No need for change at the very instant.
At this moment.
But I don't think they should be expecting to win tournaments at this instant. At
Yeah.
an
Then you
instant.
make a
I think
change.
a big issue in the scene is a lot of teams put together a roster that they feel has to be fighting for tournaments right away. And if it doesn't work right away, 6 months later, roster moves already happening. Chemistry, getting depth into a playbook. Like there's so many times I've seen in interviews now where like Kerrigan or Apex or these guys refer to like, oh yeah, you know, like we'll be in the semifinals of a tournament and we're in triple OT and it'll be like, oh, remember that strat we used to run 16 months ago? Oh, do you remember 2021 Apex Rush? And it's just like, you can't do that if you don't have at least a stable core for a year. So do I think Liquid in its current iteration can compete for trophies? No. Do I think they need to make a roster move right now, this very instant, because that's the case? Also, no. Do I think they need to completely like pull out all the work they've gone and energy they've put towards creating Twist as an IGL and the systems and the teams that he's running, take that all, throw it away, and rebuild around Shue? No, I don't think that's what they should be doing right now. But you know, you get a better player for JKS, you get a more consistent opper if you find one on the market. Yeah, that's obviously going to help. That's going to bring more consistency to your roster. But I think those are like two different things, in my opinion.
A team with Liquid's talent cannot, like, it's inexcusable for a team with that much firepower and that good of a core to not be competing for titles a year after the initial roster was constructed. You say you need depth and chemistry and this and that. They've already proven they don't give a fuck about that because they've made 2 different iterations of roster changes. They don't care. So if that's the case, they're making changes with the
I wouldn't
purpose
say
to
they don't
contend
care.
for titles.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they don't care.
It's
Like the
definitely
Skulls Cadian
situational,
roster
bro.
was toxic. It had no future.
Yeah.
The team
Okay,
that
but
we
then they
have
dropped
here,
Yakinder 4 months later.
look at Yakinder's performances.
Bro,
Making
you
one
were
roster
calling
move,
for his
Brother.
head.
I was. I still am. It was the right move. They are not done. It wasn't a 1-person change. It was a 2-person change. If you're a team with that much talent and you're not contending for rosters, you make the change that everybody knows you should make to contend for titles. That is it. It is very simple.
right?
You don't wait
And
6 months
you have to
drop someone on their
understand-
ass. You do it now. Get the
I-
roster you need to win tournaments and then build. You don't build with a roster before you make the last change.
I think you do.
No.
I think there's a lot of like cases of teams where that one roster move finally puts them over the edge.
No. It's a horrible business decision. It's a horrible.
Like, how rarely
Personal
do we
decision.
see a team that puts like 2, 2, and 1 together and all of a sudden just goes on crazy tears and win everything? No. That's that's just not how it works for
Okay,
It's a
them.
so you're a
process.
move
It's for
away
sure
from
a
being a top
process.
5 team. Do it. Do it. Do it. Please do it.
I mean, they
Please.
could be a top
Buy,
5
buy,
team, you know?
buy.
They can't buy. They spend all the money on
Where's my
Carlson,
credit?
bro.
They just got Magnus Carlson, bro. They're fine. Someone give me my wallet. I'm buying.
Magnus or Shuhei?
Yo,
not
Magnus
both?
for real. Might be a better IGL. I'll say.
The Team Liquid execs are
Great
going,
idea.
who the fuck is Shuhei?
No,
All right,
dude,
well-
imagine Magnus watching the mini map. Holy shit.
Hey, I bet that guy could call a fucking default, dude. He knows all the openings.
Uh,
All right, well, I think that was some good chop about Katowice. I think we should hop into the long-awaited player power ranking segment.
mhm.
We spent a lot of time on this, so just know that a lot of effort was put in, and we appreciate the feedback, the likes, the views, everything. You know, we're here for it. We just want to have a good time. I'm gonna preface this by saying we each individually filled out a top 25 of a power rankings of players at this moment in time. So at this current position in time and space, what players are you taking over other players? What does your top 20 look like? We all gave our lists, we averaged them out, and we now have a collective list. Only I know the results of the collective list. John, Josh, and Jay are going to be seeing this for the first time as we go through, and it's also going to show everyone's placing of the players. So,
Gonna
for
rip apart
example,
Josh's list. I
Yo,
Yo,
cannot
quick
wait.
question. Quick question. Did you also make a list, Spencer?
of course,
Okay.
yeah, we all made it. We're going to average it out. We're going to see all of our rankings for the players if they come up. If your player that you ranked highly didn't show up, then the other guys didn't rank them that high. It's just the way it goes.
All right.
Number
To start it
25.
off, we're gonna hop into some honorable mentions because
never mind.
why not? Why
Okay.
not show some love? We got Brokey at 24, Maka at 23, a first timer on the list.
Oh yeah.
Yimmy, I'm sorry, my
go.
beautiful king. These guys are disrespecting the fuck out of you, except for Jay. He actually didn't
No
make the top
rank?
20.
Wait,
No, you
Yeah.
guys are disrespecting
No rank-
Maka, bro.
No rank for both of these bozos, bro. It's actually insane how quickly they forget, Jay.
It's kind of crazy how John knows ball.
I know, right?
He places Maka. Yeah, that's it.
Josh
He knows
gets-
ball.
I had him
you guys
higher,
are-
and I was like, nah.
you guys
don't
No
are
call me
ranking
crazy.
for Yimmy.
Josh is
and
brave.
17 for Maka, Josh. You're blasted. And then we got Mezzi at 21. We all had him around there. Josh didn't
Except
have him in
one
his
moron, yeah.
rankings. Josh hates
It's all
beautiful
right.
people. But
I like T.
I think this was honestly a pretty good. Like we all had Brokey to the end of near the end of our list, Mezzi near the end of our lists. I wanted to show Mezzi some love. He's been playing really good this year.
I agree.
Yep.
And
British player.
Also,
I just
he
wanna let
gets
you know-
zero love. Like he gets zero love, and he's actually so important to that team.
I want to say
Mhm.
something else as well. I placed Donk number 25 as well. So let me just it's
yeah,
in
but I
advance.
changed
It's
that. I fucking
big brain
changed it,
move. It's
Josh.
gonna be a
No.
big brain move. You guys will see.
He wanted to pull his average ranking up.
I changed
funny.
that.
Wait, are you serious?
No,
Spencer.
I changed it.
Okay, but I had it. You know what I meant by that.
Sure, bro, but I couldn't make the averages with 2 donks. Like it just doesn't work.
Okay, just
You
go.
added a second donk.
Yeah, this
Just go. Just go.
That's funny.
All right.
Just
Hopping into
anything
the
we want to talk about
list.
here quickly?
If you guys want to say your piece
Like-
on any of these guys, go ahead.
No,
Yeah,
Maka's not a top 25 player. That's my piece.
get out of here.
exactly. He's a top 20 player.
Exactly.
This
So, got
guy's
him at
opping. I'm
24.
pretty sure he's IGLing. He's putting up insane stats.
doing
against great
everything.
Competition.
Maka's doing
Like,
everything.
Not their offer,
fuck,
is he?
dude. Yeah.
Bro,
He
might not
is
be
what
a top
Twist
25
wanted to be.
player in
He's not
France.
IGLing. I'll tell you that he's not IGLing. They just dropped their IGL for
That was a
body.
joke.
No. Body's not IGLing for that team. Maka IGLs. They dropped Joko. He's just like one of the riflers. Body's coming in just to rifle.
What was the point of that?
He's just a rifle.
Maka's
Like Joko's.
Maka's insane. That's why.
Maka's not a
The problem,
top 3
the problem
French
with
player.
with 3D Max right now is the best French player that they can get is stuck on fucking ends.
That's true.
Probably.
Yeah, they cannot buy.
I mean, they can't get Zaiwu
professionally.
and they can't get Apex, so it's, like, it's gotta be. Like,
But they can
ends.
move Zaiwu to a rifle and bring in Maka to op.
Listen, all I'm saying is right now in 2025, he's a 114, and in the last 6 months in big events, he's a 108.
Move on.
He's putting up insane value,
Okay.
surrounded with not a lot of supporting cast, doing
Counterpoint.
everything.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
He's worse than everybody else on this
his
list.
literal supporting cast teammate Lucky has a higher rating than him this year, and he's nowhere to be found on your list.
He's the best
I
eye
mean-
test, Spencer.
I think there's a little bit more to than like just rating. I'm using rating to add to the fact that again he's doing everything. He is opping. He is IG.
I mean, you said he had no supporting
Yeah,
cast.
but opping, if
Counterpoint,
anything, should lower
counterpoint.
you on a list, bro. Like,
Counterpoint.
Yeah, rating for oppers. I'm gonna
bro
say
saying he's an op.
Maka on big events is better than Lucky.
nice.
Wow, one
None of them are
event?
top 25 players.
one
Oh,
event.
big
Like, this is
events.
awesome.
Big events over the last 6 months. Lucky's a 1.02.
How many big events did fucking 3D Max play, bro? They play like
Okay,
one
okay,
series
no,
of
no,
all
no.
those events.
No, that would be ESL Pro League, the major, and Kato.
So 3 events.
So how many maps?
That is across 24 maps.
I'll tell you, they played 7 maps at Katowice.
Yeah, it's across 24 maps.
24 maps, yeah, confirmed.
That's a pretty good sample size.
HLW confirmed.
Decent sample
Yeah.
size,
They're-
not
they're
enough for
both
top 20.
Somewhere from
or top 25.
26 to
in
30.
my opinion.
Okay, simple. They're just haters. Let's
They're just haters.
they're
Bro,
just
you
They
haters.
don't have an eye for
Messi in the
talent.
top
It's fine.
25.
Yo, my
Bro,
camera
Yim
died.
Fat, bro.
You
think
both didn't
Maka's
have
a better player
Yimfat
than
in the
Yim Fat.
dude. You guys are
Oh,
dumb.
Yimfat is 0.9 in 2025.
Oh, rating
I don't
doesn't
think
matter.
rating
Here we
is-
go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Guy playing all anchor roles versus a literal opper. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, a guy playing all anchor roles and not doing a good job of it recently.
Not doing it.
He had a really listen.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Yimmy. I think he has a high ceiling and he's going to grow as a player. But right now, at this very instant, he is struggling.
You're building
All
a
the
team.
sophomore slump.
If you build a
But
team
over the last 6
not as
months,
good as
he also
Maka,
has
bro.
been
I
struggling.
get it, bro. He's just not as good as Maka, dude.
Bro,
He
Spenny,
might
you
get there
said-
this year.
Spenny, you said top 20 up to this point, like right now.
Right
After
now,
Kato.
as a player, yes,
Yeah.
as a player.
Yeah,
Like right now, yeah.
If I
even
go to
feel weird
Mouse,
about Brokey being 25, 24.
bro, Josh has no ranking on like so many guys. It's insane. It's
He
insane.
don't. Yeah. Okay.
Just go next. Just go next. Whatever, bro.
Maka.
All right, you said your pieces. We got no more Maka shilling to do. I can move on. It's all good.
Jeez.
Number 20, first man on the list. Drum roll, please.
Alright.
Twists.
what a stud.
Look at that
No
picture.
ranking
Doesn't-
from Jay.
Doesn't he look
No.
fucking sexy in that pic?
No
He
ranking.
does.
Yeah,
He'd be
kinda
looking down
nice.
good.
He looks fucking good though. Holy shit. I
Okay,
might
they
give him a
got
ranking
the right
just
on that
because
one.
of
Jay,
that pick.
Jay, you got to explain yourself on this one.
Just not. He's not a top 25 player while calling. Shoot me.
Shoot you, I will shoot. He's posting a 1.17, bro.
It is what it is, boys.
As
I
an
think when
IGL,
When I
That's
broke down my
insane.
list objectively, as you can see from my rankings that are gonna make the way, could Twist fit somewhere into the list? Yes. Do I feel horrible about leaving him off? No. I think I was justified in all my decisions. I don't think I have any too crazy of wild card selections. So it is what it is, man. At the end of the
Like
day, I even felt bad about where I put Brokey at number 25. So do I feel bad about Twist being left off the list? No, not at all.
So you think Brokey's a better player than Twist?
I would way rather have Twists, bro.
Yeah, Twist for
present?
sure.
Yeah, currently, yeah.
Oof.
Wow.
Oof.
I
That's a
could not
hot take. That's really hot.
disagree
That's really
more.
hot.
It's all good, guys. It is what it is.
I have a question though. Big parenthesis here.
Mhm.
Did you guys think Device is hot?
In
Tom
real
Cruise,
life,
I'm not a fan.
God, that guy's fucking handsome.
That's a handsome lad.
I asked my girl and she said he's ugly.
What?
I don't know. I don't know what she's thinking.
Nah, your girl's lying to you, bro. You're newlyweds. Give it a year. Give it a year.
All right, that's the
That's funny.
preference. Yeah.
Josh, you're
Yeah.
a great looking guy. Don't get me wrong.
No,
but
you
Device,
are.
bro.
Thank
He's in a
The
different
vice
tier.
blows
Man.
you out of the
Alright?
water.
For sure, I agree. No, 100% for sure.
Oh, on that note, Twists, great looking guy. Do I expect him to have a better year? Yes.
Great
Do I think
looks.
he'll be a
great
top 20
aim.
player this coming year? Yes. Just get off the fucking calling, dude. Just get off it.
Bro,
Anyways,
even when he's calling, he's posting a
117.
1.17 on land.
that's
Like,
fine.
dude.
It's just
That
hard
is
for me. It's hard for me to
insane.
put somebody in in a ranking like this when their team really didn't do that much. Like
Yeah, that's why I had him lower. I was gonna put him higher, to be honest.
I don't take a 117 as serious for a team that was middling in the barely in the top 10 versus a 117 on I don't know, a wonderful or like a team that was competing for trophies. Like I don't
Oh,
care.
of course, but I think the guys at the back end of your list at like the 20s, because you don't even have Twist ranked. Those guys, there's just less of an argument for me to put them over Twist.
Maybe like who though?
Oh, we'll have to
Like,
see.
we'll see who comes
Yeah,
on
well,
the
all right,
list.
we'll see. Anyways, yeah, I stand by this. I'm not. I don't feel bad about this.
All right.
All right, fair enough. Next player, number 19. 910.
Ooh.
Sneaking
19,
on the
910?
list.
Yo, I'm starting to
19,
think me and Josh
910.
are cooking.
No, I think
That's what
me
I'm
and Spenny
saying,
just
man.
know ball. I'll be honest. I just need a little bit more of a sample size before I elevate him into the top 20.
Oh,
You need a
but
sample size.
GL doesn't need a sample size now, but he
Who?
does. GL Gamer Legion.
Gamer
No,
Legion.
no, I bought stock. That's not how the stock market works, you dumbass. stock market's about projections. Rankings about the past and the future.
Mm.
You know I've never done
But-
bought stock after it already took off.
You don't need sample sizes. This guy, there's plenty enough.
No, I do. I do. I think he's a very good player. I would just like a little bit of sample size. I'd
I
like to
would
see
say
him continue
sample
it for a couple
size
months.
at like playoffs
Big events and
big
playoffs
events,
on
definitely.
stages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, I'm not mad with this ranking. I was happy to see him in the top 20,
agree.
honestly. Although I did have him outside, I think he's like right there, and he's proven to be honestly one of the better operators in the scene right now, man.
I think he'll
Can't
be a
lie.
top 15 player this year.
Top 15.
Yeah.
Top 15 might push it, but depends how
Damn.
Mongols does.
I have faith.
Yeah, they're in a weird spot right now with Senzu,
Yeah.
and like I feel like Blitz, Senzu, 910, Mazzino, like they all just go off sometimes. It's so hard to pick like a
That's the
star,
thing, right?
a star
I
player on
love
that.
their
team.
vibes though. Do you guys
They're-
watch them
they're
on the
awesome,
round
bro.
table?
Yeah.
Dude,
they're
they're a
fun.
vibey bunch.
Yeah.
Nah, I fuck with them. Like they're dynamic, their
Mm-hmm.
vibes, and they're all like just super good players. Like I don't think there's a huge skill discrepancy
There's
between
not,
any
there's
of them. Even Techno, bro. Techno has some fucking rounds too. Like he can
agree.
shoot. So yeah, I think as of right now, you kind of have to go 910 with the top, or him or Blitz, I would say. But
I think his
Yeah, I
peaks
think-
are a little bit higher than anyone on that team, to be honest.
910,
Yeah.
I think Senzu.
Senzu
Really?
has some
Okay.
Yeah.
pre wrist nerf. He was
I mean, you kind of have to take the wrist into consideration though, just
No,
because
I
of how
do,
long it's
100%.
been. Like it's been a while. And
I
it doesn't
agree.
sound like it's getting better. So, anyways.
But yeah, happy to show the Mongols some love on this list. Let's go on to number 18.
15, 16. Okay, John.
Spanx.
Oh, this is
Okay.
some
Yeah.
recency bias out of you boys.
Okay.
This is
Listen.
Hmm.
Call it recency bias. Call it
did.
what you want. Going forward on this mouse team, you cannot look me in the straight face and tell me Sphinx is going to be a top. Going to be producing top 15, even top 20 results.
I'll
Bro.
be honest. I think he kind of has runway to just take over on that roster. No, like
You think Brolin's
I
going to
think-
put him in the best spot to succeed?
I don't think Brolin
yeah.
has a fucking choice. First of all, like I don't think it's a matter of Brolin calling around him. I think it's a matter of this team got worse, but talent wise, he's probably their most talented player, and he's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be selfishly or whatever the case may be, but he has the talent to easily get his own.
I think Spinks left Vitality from everything I've read, mostly because he disagreed with how he was utilized by Apex and also the spots that Apex played versus what he wanted to do. I don't think you're
Opium.
joining a team like Mao's without one like a part of like the negotiation. Like you're calling Brolin and the coach in and being like, "Hey, I'm the first option going forward.
I
I'm
mean,
the
what
star of
other
this
option
team
did
now."
Spinks have, bro? I don't think had
He
fruitful offers
he could
coming
wait
where,
it
where he could
out
make
Wait,
if
a
he
if you
decision.
wanted
don't
to.
think the first set of roster changes he was getting, he was getting the first, second, and third phone calls, you're nuts. There's a
Okay,
lot of
so who?
teams who would be looking at
I mean,
him.
if you wait out a month, there's a world where G2 is looking to make a change on Hunter.
Yeah.
Like
He's
there's a
not dropping Hunter right now. I'm telling you that right
that's true.
now.
He's
No, but
calling CT
if you
sides.
wait a month, he might like.
No, you just won't do that on G2. I'm gonna say for the calling reasons, he's calling all the eco rounds and all the CT sides, and he's been they're statistically their best player outside Modesty this year. So there's zero like reason to drop Hunter at this point. And I
Sure.
would
To
think
think he wouldn't have found a home as a second option
I'm saying he
minimum
would
on a
have
team
found a
is
home, but right now he didn't have any other option. And teams aren't gonna make moves all willy nilly to start of the year because they just
who
made
do you
moves.
think Mouse
Yeah,
plays through
I'm
if
with
not
Spencer
him?
right there.
Huh?
Who does Mouse call around?
I don't know what they're gonna do, bro. They have a
I do.
really
I
good
They're
agree.
gonna
I
generic
don't
mix
think
of
I really know
players.
what they're going to do,
Bro,
but
Brolin was playing good spots on CT on some of them, so he's probably gonna give those up to Spinks. Like obviously, if Spinks is saying he was underutilized, I don't know because he was playing rotator. He wasn't playing any anchors,
I think
was
that
he?
was more of a
Mhm.
I think that was more of a T side situation for him, to be honest. Like he was very clearly the third option on Vitality.
Yeah, rightfully
It,
so.
Right, but
well, I mean, he was HLTV number 4 in 2023. He was exceptional talent, and he was the number 2 option on that
I mean,
team.
in that year, didn't he
He
also play on
lost
Ents,
in
or did he play the
2023.
whole year on Vitality?
He played the whole year. He won the major with them. No,
No, yeah, he won the major.
yeah, that was at the start, or that was like in March of that year.
that kind of feeds into my point though, where he played on a less talented roster and absolutely shitted on everybody and got his HLTV ranking, got picked up on a top team. He's going to a team with less talent, a worse team who have no other choice but to put him in a position to succeed.
Yeah, I just think like Spinks as your best player in all the impact positions is not winning you shit. Secondly, how is Torzy gonna perform under this new IGL?
But this is
Because
about Spinks.
But we're
it is
talking
about
about
Spinks.
Spinks as a
But
player.
if
Yeah, I think
Like I think Mouse is going to
Mouse got
suck.
worse.
yeah, so I don't
Spinks's
like
numbers are going to
top
get better.
15 as a player, he's gonna have to
Right.
put up numbers.
And he
Yeah, but
will. Will it result into wins? No, probably not.
the
You're
way
saying
this
he
was
will,
structured
I'm
to
saying
me,
he
no,
won't.
Spence. The way this was structured to me was if you were going to like make a team, these are players who you would be picking to put on that team because you're
100%.
looking at their
And he
So
would be the 20th guy for me. I have
yeah, that's
maybe
valid.
one
That's
more.
valid. I think like we're all roughly in the same range. I don't think him being number 18 is actually that bad for me. Like I kind of bumped him up a little bit at the end. I was like maybe I'm being too harsh on him,
That's what I
but
meant.
I think this idea that like he's going to go to Maus and he might struggle there is almost irrelevant to this point.
I also
mean,
don't think individually he'll struggle.
sure.
I just think their team will.
But if we're making this ranking in 6 months and you have Spinks outside your top 25 and you're
Mhm.
saying, yeah, he's just not putting up the numbers. Like you're gonna blame it on Mouse. You're
I
gonna
don't
say
think that's
Mouse
gonna
is a
happen
shit
though.
situation. Okay, but if it does, like,
Well, that's the hindsight. I like that. That's
and I think you guys are forgetting or just glossing over the fact that he was bad in the second half of that Vitality year
He
last
yeah.
year.
struggled, yeah.
He also
He was
very
bad.
clearly didn't
He was
want
the
to be
reason they
there.
were Oh, come on, bro. Yeah, I don't want to be here. I'm gonna just start playing like ass. Like seriously.
No, but when you vocally say you want a roster change and the team doesn't buy into it and they say, we'd actually probably rather play with Mezzi. Like
I don't
we're
think that
good.
was true. I don't think that was true.
If that wasn't true, they wouldn't have dropped him.
No, he just said why he dropped. Sin just said why he wanted to leave.
You
'Cause
think
he
they
wasn't
did
getting
not have
utilized.
any roster issues?
Yeah,
behind-
Spinks. Spinks
No,
was
no,
the
no, no,
roster
no,
issue.
no, not in game. You don't think they had any clashing? Have you listened to anything any of the
Okay,
Vitality players have
Mezzi,
said about
Mezzi or
bringing Rops
Spink?
into the team?
Who do you think has more issues behind the scenes, Spinks or Mezzi?
Like, what do you mean?
Issues. I think Spinks is the harder guy to work with. I also think he's the
Character
better player.
clash, personality clash.
Spinks.
Who's gonna be more
Spinks.
upset, bro? Exactly.
So what's
So
your
him
point?
like he came out and he said, "I never wanted Mezzi off the roster." That's not true. That's what Spink said.
Okay,
So I'm gonna
maybe he
take him
was
at his
mad
word
about
for it.
his
I'm not
spots.
gonna give him a caveat saying, "Yeah, you wanted out, bro. He played bad, but like I don't know, he wasn't feeling the roster." Like that's a caveat, bro. That's
I think
Nah,
it's
he
a
I
doesn't.
think I
justifiable
think
one.
he can be mentally checked out and perform bad, and that is on him, and it should be reflected in like the ranking of him.
Mm,
But I think
Could be.
like 16 for me is already a pretty big slide for him,
I agree.
considering
Where he was,
he was a top 10 player
Yeah.
not a year, not even like 7 months ago, in my opinion, 8 months ago.
I don't know. He was a top 10 player, but that was also like
Yeah, he
a
was.
while ago. And you could argue that like pound for pound, he wasn't a top 10. Like if you're doing a power ranking of that year,
yeah, you can. You'd be dumb to argue that though. Like, he
I don't
was
know.
comfortably in his
I'm not very high on Spinks like
clearly.
That's valid.
as an individual player.
Maybe 7-8 months ago, a little bit higher, but not right now.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna show up and frag on this team. I don't think it's gonna turn into wins, but I think
Mm,
individually he's gonna fucking dominate.
I mean, you're playing with Zai Wu and you got Apex calling, bro. It's not much better than that.
And now you have Brolin.
Yeah.
And
you got
Thorzy.
It's
Brolin,
very,
And
Thorzy.
it's
Thorzy.
very hard to be consistent as an individual.
Like, bro.
The fall off is crazy, but it's hard. It's hard to be consistent.
You can tell he
when-
thought he could get onto G2.
bro. Yeah, for sure.
He's like, yeah, I'll leave. I don't care about snacks, but I'll Monacy.
I'll go play with Monizy.
Perfect.
I'll go play with Torzi.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know. I'm high on him. I think he's gonna bounce back nicely, individually.
All right, that's TBD. Let's go on to number 17. We got a no
Ooh.
rank from Josh.
Ooh.
First
I
one
know
of
what it
the-
is. I know what this
one of the
is.
Top 20.
Wait,
I know
just
what
guess.
this
Oh.
is.
Mobs MD.
No way.
Central American Brethren not ranking the only Central American in the list.
This has
I
to be
don't-
jealous.
Okay,
Yeah,
let
it's
me
his
talk
own
first.
kind.
Josh,
Let me talk
please-
first.
Please try to
Please
explain
do.
yourself.
No one else is talking. We all agree. So go ahead.
Okay. Here's my reasoning behind everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he stated a while ago that with Nico, there was some issue with the position he was playing.
No.
But I think putting him in an uncomfortable position was giving him the edge of learning new stuff and therefore performing. Because if you're put in an uncomfortable position, you tend to like
My
be
favorite
more
thing.
active with your brain, therefore putting more numbers. Now without Nico, he's going back to his old positions, I assume. I haven't really watched
The
G2.
good ones, yeah, the good ones.
Can I?
So
Yeah.
this is
Can I-
only with respect
And
to
he's not really
CP, by the way.
performing. Like Kato. Did he perform at Kato? He didn't.
He had a
Can
bad
I-
ghetto.
Can
Get
can
it
I
back in.
just? This might go down as worse than your Rops to Vitality take. First of all, just weighing this as a bad Kato, and that's why he's not ranked in the top 25, is atrocious. But all of that said, first of all, you made up half of that first point. He never complained about his spots on G2. He was placed into
Did
anchor
you?
roles, and he never complained about that. The whole
I'm pretty sure there's
no, all he had said is now that Nico is gone, I have elevated responsibility and I'm going to be put in this position to do more as a player, which is correct. He did not have a good Kato. This is the first time in tier 1 he is playing star rifle roles. It's going to be some growing pains. If you don't think he's a top 20 player, you are delusional. There's no arguing that. This isn't even like a haha funny joke, donk 25, whatever you did. This is just stupid.
No, Dunk 25 was not a joke. It was for real.
You just deserve to be there twice. Eh?
I'm just gonna just wait.
This all right,
Right here.
anyways, yeah, this is
Okay. I don't
It's
have
fine
like
in the
exact
article.
numbers on it, but like when it comes
To
to
be
the raw
fair,
stuff, like
I had him
Malbs
at
on T
26.
side, Malbs on
He
T
had him at
side
26.
was like a 1.2 something, across last year. And then Malbs on like CT side was like a 1.02 because he was playing anchor spots and they were awkward and growing pains. So that edge that he was getting was just him being bad on CT. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like he has so much room to grow and be so much better.
I think he might be a top 10 candidate this year.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't he top 10?
Not so
or no?
far this year.
Yeah, not in
HLTV,
Kato.
where did he
He
play?
was 13.
He was
12 or
13, I think. 12 or
13.
13? 14 maybe? I don't think it's. I think he was 12.
Nah,
Oh, that's right. Flames, he was the guy who ended up top
12 or
10.
13.
Because just in case I just counted,
by the way.
he's 23rd all matches. That's 3 months.
Nice.
In
He's
what?
not
In rating?
26, which is where you have him apparently. So
It's
All
only 3
matches?
spots, and I didn't check stats before that.
nice. You just looked
But
at your list
yeah,
and
we
said, "I
got
don't
we
like that
gotta
guy."
go. We gotta go a little more off precedent, in my opinion, for Mobs
Yeah.
because, bro, last year he was fucking lights out, dude. And as these guys mentioned, a little bit of growing pains. I thought he was gonna perform better, to be honest, to start the year. I didn't expect him to be this shaky,
Yeah.
but
Man,
I
you're
still
taking.
think from what we saw last year, and still some flashes this year. I remember specifically that ancient game, their first
Yeah.
game of Bounty. Bro, this guy was shooting heads. Only fucking heads. He was holding down like Dona on ancient, holding mid. Like nobody could fuck with him. I think he had like 30 in regulation. They ended up
Mhm.
losing that game over some weird OT calls, but we're not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, his potential, man, it's so damn high, and his floor, I think, is still pretty high. So I think you gotta
You're
put him in
taking
the
a
top
guy
4.
who has proven he can be a top rifle in tier 1 and elevating literally every role he has, and you're somehow ranking him lower. Like, that's crazy. Move
Just,
on.
I
I
already
can
put my
only
point out.
imagine.
I already
can
put
only
my point
imagine.
out.
He said this is the first of his non-ranks, so I can only imagine what's to come.
Just to also give more clarification, if someone put a non-rank, I put them at rank 30.
Yeah.
Just to be
okay.
fair. So 5 spots down from the last
Yeah,
one.
so you could do an average for sure.
All right. Now that we got Mobs out of the way, let's hop in to number 16.
Oh wow.
John and Josh.
Wonder Goat. What, Jay?
And
What
I'm
the
hater?
hell?
And
No
I'm
way
the
That's
you
hater?
crazy,
him
Jay. I didn't
10
expect that from you, to
That's
be honest.
crazy.
Wonderful at 10 for you? Please explain.
I really like the start to the year.
Oh yeah.
All
Nothing
you
else
gotta
to
say.
explain. I really like to start. I really
all
like
you
the
gotta
start to the year.
say.
Yeah, I
You liked
think
his haircut?
I will say I was not a fan of the perm at first. Whatever he did to it in between Blast and Kato,
It bumped him up like 3 spots
chef's
at
kiss.
least.
No, I think he's been a rock for Navi since Blast. Like, I think he's been probably their best player. I don't really think you could argue. Maybe him and Bit. Outside of that, I think JL's taken a hit, and the only reason they're in semis of Kato is because Wonderful and Bit. So I
Okay.
don't think anything needs to be argued there. I'm a known Wonderful untruther.
Yeah, this is so 180. It's hilarious.
So uncharacteristic of you.
At the end of the day, what
That's
I like to
kinda
do is
interesting.
not let my emotions impact my decision making.
Unbiased
Mm.
ranking.
Do I believe Wonderful is a top 10 player? I think he's in that conversation right now.
Okay.
Fair enough. It hurt me to put him this low because I fucking love Wonderful. And there is a few guys on this list that I probably would have put him ahead of, but just because of maybe how they're performing this year, or I don't even know why I had it. Because originally I think I had him at 14, and then I moved him down a couple slots.
I think 20 is outlandish.
Oh yeah, 20. Nah, you guys are faded for that for sure. Like I thought it was gonna be pretty low. Like in
I think
regards to
10
all
is
the-
even a little faded. Like, I think it's maybe recency bias mixed in with the fall off I was expecting that never came yet until Simple's on the team. So, like, 10 is maybe a little too, like, overzealous, but dude, he's had a strong start to the year, and he's the second best player in his
Hey,
team.
speak your truth, Queen. Speak that shit.
Shout out Wonder Goat.
I
Remove,
guess. I
remove
don't
Wonderful,
know.
put Simple.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna throw that.
Yeah.
I'm-
Hey, Josh,
I-
you just said Mob
Top
is a top
10.
30 player.
Okay, let me say this real quick. I think some of my takes I spiked them, but your takes are consistently weird.
That's not true at all, Rops the Vitality.
I think
What are
I
you
spike.
talking
I think I
about?
spike. Yes, for sure. I do that. That's
There's
the
a
point.
polarizing figure.
I think the
Alright, just
only
go.
trolley take I have that I kind of believe in is Simple to Navi. Like that's it. I think everything else is pretty.
For this
who-
guy,
who would
for
it be
this guy on
for?
the screen,
Who
you're
would it
top
be
the 10th
for?
best player right now.
Hey, go look at Simple's top fives. Move on. Number
Okay,
15.
All right.
going back to 2019 and shit. All right, John, speak your piece
2023.
on this.
Speak my
20.
piece on Wonderful.
Yeah, can I hear why
I
20?
after defending Wonderful from Jay about his finals performances, I admit they were weak. I realized in Kato, and I became a wonderful truther, this man cannot perform when it matters. And that is what matters.
That's blasphemy.
That's not. I still agree with that. The thing with me is it's twofold, right? It's like
Defamation.
statistically he's able to find his kills in these, like against Spirit he was able to put up okay number. They weren't good, but like I don't think he was hard
I
costing
wouldn't
them.
call what he did against Spirit okay numbers.
But dude, you can see when the lights get bright, the op overflicks a little bit. Or he's holding Cat from long with 0 back pressure and he misses 2 freebies. Now, I think the performance before the Spirit series at Kato, and I think the way he was elevating everybody on his team and kind of just single-handedly winning them rounds alongside Bit, I overhyped 10 looking back at is kind of insane. Like, I would probably put him 14, 13. But man, like, I think 20, like, as a wonderful hater.
Bro,
20, guys?
this guy, with how dynamic he is, I think I have a bias towards like these super like dynamic and like win really insane rounds situation players. Because, bro, there's not 19 players who can win the rounds that Wonderful's winning. Bro.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
I agree he does have some lulls.
I can
in
find
if
19
you
players
guys-
who would hit those shots, though.
Depends on the
doesn't.
situation. We're talking about like semifinals of Katowice, bro. Like there's not
Yeah, hey.
offers you can.
When you're
Who are
supposed
you
to show
putting?
up,
Okay, who are you putting over him? as an
Shiro's
offer?
hitting that shot.
Yeah, we have Shiro a lot higher on the list though.
So, okay, all I'm going to say is versus top 5 opponents in 2025 so far, he is a 0.87 across 7 maps. Brokey in that same time frame across 6 maps is a 0.94.
So you think Brokey's better than Wonderful?
That's
I
why
th-
They're both
I think
like dog
Brokey.
shit.
Here's the thing. Brokey, when compared against like top 10 and top 20 opponents, it does not have as high highs as Wonderful. But when it comes to those like semifinals and final matches, he out like a light, gone,
I
disappears.
trust Brokey to show up in a grand final.
Yeah,
I
That's
do not
fair.
trust
and
Wonderful.
I weigh those semis and those finals pretty heavily. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair, but you're also omitting the major, which he had a great tournament.
Yeah, you know who else?
Oh, when they
Brokey.
didn't make playoffs?
The first major, which they won last
Oh,
year.
the major that they won.
2025.
Yeah, but go watch his. Well, first of all, we're going back a year, but go
And
watch.
Emo
his,
was 0.88.
like, go watch his finals.
What does that have to do with how good Wonderful is?
Go
in
watch
playoffs?
his major finals.
I'm just saying it's been a long time and there's been a lot of growth and change in the scene. I don't
It's
think
been
you
a
should
long
be
time, for
referring
sure.
to
That's
what I
fair.
still
but
call a
you
fluke
guys
major.
are acting like he doesn't fall
We're
off.
not
a
doing
cliff
this
like you
fluke
guys are
major
saying.
bullshit.
I still have him in the top 20 as a player.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I don't think I'm that crazy.
That's good, but we're gonna get to this next guy
Yeah.
where you definitely have him above, and I might be able to pick a hole in your argument here. We'll
Okay.
see.
I like this. I like this. There's some animosity.
Number 15. Drum roll. Walksick,
Mm-hmm.
who you have the number 14 player,
Yeah.
John. Even though we haven't seen this guy perform in playoffs. We saw him perform in the semifinals. He played like ass.
Mm-hmm.
He was a ghost. But even still, you're putting him 6 spots higher than Wonderful, who's had way more reps against these great teams. So obviously he's gonna have more variation in his performances, and we've
Yep.
seen him win at the highest level and play as a top 3,
I mean,
4
this guy's
offer.
Casper the Ghost. Like, I don't know what we're doing here. Like, how do you justify your reasoning for Wonderful?
1.09 against top 5 opponents in 2025 across
In
11
2025, that's like 1.5 tournaments, bro.
That's like the EF.
maps. He's been showing
rejuvenation.
up.
Okay, he's been showing up for
I didn't know this
A
list was
month?
based off the last 14 days. My bad.
a month
If
and a
I
half.
knew that, my list would look very different.
Yeah.
I think his point is that you got to put his most recent tournament higher and then go down the list.
I just disagree, though. I think you guys
Yeah.
are ranking it like way too highly.
I
like
think
you
you have
just
to
said,
like
a lot of shit can
marginally
change.
take like Kato's the most important like statistic, sure, but like, hey, Donk's still number one, guys. It's not like Zayu lapped him. Like I don't.
Yeah, no, I agree. But Woxic has been putting in like insane numbers that are much higher than Wonderful at every single level of play, except for
In the
one
last two
bad series against Mongols.
in the last two tournaments.
Okay, I have a question, Jay.
Even extending back, they missed out on the major, and that's unfortunate. But he had a really good EPL 20. He had a really strong. What was the other tournament? Not Blast, because they're not part of the Blast partner program.
Last, he was a 0.99 in finals.
Not Blast. I said
Yeah. They were in Blast finals against.
no, not Blast Bounty. I'm talking like before the major. Because
Oh.
a big thing that sucks with Eternal Fire is they didn't make the major, so we don't really have data on them from that.
Oh, why didn't they make the major?
We're not taking that into account, though. We're not taking that into account
They're
at
all
all.
underperform, or what happened?
Navi didn't make the playoffs. These guys even show up to the fucking event.
They got bounced in an RMR. It happens, man. I think
Oh, it
they're-
happens, bro.
Oh,
It happens.
obviously.
Number 14 player of the year. It happens.
Okay, I have two things to say real quick.
Mhm.
Jay, let's say Wonderful's coming out of the major they won last year, right? Would you put him higher than number 10?
I'd probably put him in like the 8 through 10 range. But
Okay.
if I'm doing an opera ranking, I definitely have Wonderful before I have.
Not upper ranking, just player overall.
Okay, so I'm ranking Wonderful higher. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing with this guy as well.
Yeah.
He just came off a good series, so
Bad
that's why
series,
he's
by the
higher.
way.
Yeah. Wonderful just
I mean,
came off. Wonderful just came off a good year.
Yeah.
Like what
That's
are we?
where I think the
what are
A
disconnect.
we
decent
doing?
year. Let's say a decent year.
You guys are picking and
How many
choosing
trophies
all
did
these
he
all
lose?
these
Also-
little finals to nitpick.
Also-
the guy had a
listen.
fucking fantastic year.
Hold
I
on, hold
strongly
on.
believe Wonderful has to find a way to get over his ability to perform in finals and on the stage. I'm still taking him before. Like this isn't even a question.
Yeah.
Mm.
In my opinion, I agree.
Okay.
And I think Woxic has been very good this year.
He's been fantastic, but if you're building a team, you're not taking Woxic before you take Wonderful. You're not.
I agree.
You're not.
I don't know about
could-
that.
You should.
Wonderful is not like the reason his team wins games. He's like as an opper, he's not
but
the one
Woxic's
option
reason
or the
Eternal
two
Fire-
option.
No. Woxic's the reason EF wins games.
Yeah, him and Zontaras.
Centaurus.
No.
Him
He
and
actually has
Zontaras?
pressure on himself to compete.
Zontaras, him.
Yes. Okay.
Navi's
Yeah.
like
Okay.
JL,
Okay.
Bit,
Fucking
Wonderful,
Bit.
Ema.
Bro, if
JL,
you have it,
Ema,
Ema, and JL,
Wonderful.
yeah, obviously you're not going to get as many frags.
He's
as
the
if you
fourth
have
option.
Bro,
fucking
I've heard every
India on
single
your
If I'm
player on
building a
Eternal
team, I
Fire.
want guys who
I've
matter to their
heard
team.
every single
not the fourth
person on
option.
EF talking about how for the past 17 million years, the only reason they could win was because of Zontars, and now they feel like a team finally. That's been like 2 months, maybe. 2 months doesn't subtract the entire year beforehand. He's had a great. If he keeps this
He had
up,
a great Rio. He had a great EPL. Like,
had a
I
great
don't know.
major. Oh wait,
no, he did have great major. His stats were off the charts, literally.
little lit.
Oh,
Literally.
wait, away.
I had another comment. Always number
Yeah.
16's average. If you go back.
It's very close. I think it's 16.
was like
and a
eight-
half.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just barely. Okay, just go.
Very close. Very close.
Yeah.
I think that's just so disrespectful to Wonderful.
It is, bro. These guys will know, Jay. Hey, you flipped a little side. I'm kind of proud of you for that. But
I'm a truther, bro. I don't like to do this whole. I don't appreciate flip flopping. Like I don't like to be a flip flopper, even though I'm known
That-
for it around these
nah,
parts.
the wonderful one is a crazy flip flop, bro. I'm gonna call you out for that.
Just call a spade a spade. I don't think he shows up in the big moments. He's
I
still
agree.
a top 12.
Yeah, that's why he's
13
top 20.
player. Nah, move on. Fucking idiots.
All right. Like, also, when we're talking about guys that fucking perform on the big events always, that's like 5 players. So like I don't think we can really go into justify.
but we have to start looking at the trend of players who are consistently in the moments and don't meet the expectations.
I agree.
Wonderful
But
is in that category of guys who is always there and always not doing enough.
no, it's not always. You guys keep saying always
There's
on
like
stage.
one
He never
finals where
performs
he
on
only
Spenny,
stage.
played
Spenny, we
1-1.
did go through it tournament by tournament last year, and he
No,
had
you went over
one good
finals.
final.
You went finals. You didn't.
Yeah.
You guys are now saying stage and
What?
playoffs.
No,
That's just-
No, finals,
He's
finals.
fine on the stage. When he gets to the finals, he freezes.
I think that's fair criticism. I just don't think it would move me enough to put Woxic over him.
Bro,
If you
if-
can put me in a finals and say who do you want, Woxic or Wonderful, I'm taking Wonderful every single time.
I am too. I think he has a higher peak. And I don't trust Woxic in the finals either. Like,
No,
Yeah.
I'm taking Woxic.
Which is my point.
that's
You have no faith. It's
also I
blind
think
faith.
Wonderful's like and the ability to show up in finals away from being like a top 3 opper. Like he's gross.
No.
His mechanically he's top 4
No.
or 5.
Firmly
Monesi,
four.
Shiro, Zaiwu are a pretty solid top 3 right now.
I
mean,
think
he's
he could
firmly
bump
4.
Shiro. If he could show up in
The way
finals,
Shiro's playing this year, Shiro's been on a fucking tear. Can't
if he
lie.
could show up in the finals, I think his peak is as high, if not higher, than Shiro's. Anyways,
I agree. He's a polarizing player. Let's go into number 14.
Bring back
What do we
simple.
got here? Who do we got? Okay, we all got this guy ranked.
Oh, Josh.
It is Ima.
I fucked up.
How
by
am
the way.
I the highest on Ema here? Wow.
I
was
know,
highest
Jay.
on wonderful.
Jay, another uncharacteristic placement, I would say, for you, considering the Ima glaze you put it on the regular.
I love Ema. I think Ema's a great
Not
player.
that 16 is like outlandish. I think that's pretty fair. But
I think he's a very good player. I actually rate him very highly. I just think if you're looking at pieces to build a roster, I don't know. I think it's hard to justify putting him in the top 15. Like, at least in current
with
form.
the intangibles, bro.
That's the like. This is hard for me. I love Ema. I really like Ema. This hurts to look at.
Speechless.
This hurts to look at
Why does it hurt?
because I really like Ema. I don't know. I think
Listen, 14 is a good fucking ranking for you.
Yeah, it's
14
good.
is a good ranking. I have him at 16, which hurts a little bit. But I just think like I don't know the way Navi's been performing right now. Again, I keep saying it. I think they're relying really, really heavily on Bit and Wonderful. So I need more out of
I
my
would
boy.
agree. I think Ima's been pretty stable this year, though. He's been that one.
He's been playing his
Like,
role, but I
steady
think when he's not exceeding expectations, he's like the 16th best player in the world, which is great. He's
Yeah.
not like when he's playing lights out is where he gets into the like 12, 13, 14.
Yeah, I don't even think like
Mhm.
on this team you don't really need him to play that lights out
No,
if you're
you
getting
don't.
that other performance from the stars,
agree.
as you were saying. But I think this year he's been like I've had no like gripes with him. He's
agree.
been like really solid this
I
year.
agree. Josh, 21, care to elaborate?
Okay, I had to rush the list. and I just
Oh,
had
you
to
had
play it.
to.
You had to rush the list. We had a week.
Bro, I had 30 minutes.
My
something like
brother,
that.
I shared this with you last week.
I didn't get a notification just to say that.
Any-
He told us in
Anyways.
Discord
Alright.
7 times.
Anyways, elaborate.
Elaborate.
He messed up, he said.
That's it.
I
right?
kind of messed up. He was gonna go higher. Thinking about it, he had a good Kato, I think, right? Not
okay.
sure.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he was better. I think he was better than Wonderful.
He was.
You could argue that.
Yeah, that's why I had to
Maybe in
place him higher.
playoff. I don't know about group stage though.
Wonderful had a strong
I fucked up. I think I should have put him higher.
All right,
I respect
takes a
the
man.
accountability.
Takes a man to admit his wrongs. So I like that out of you, Josh. Honestly,
Thank you.
let's hit up number 13. We got all in the same area. It is.
Except John.
Speaking of John, it's a leash.
John, go ahead. Tell me. Talk to me.
Guy hates all Americans, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
Feels like it.
Alige. Wonderful. Great talent. I'm not sure about the fit in phase right now. I don't like that he's calling CT sides. I'm skeptical of the whole thing. he seems like he can't trust his teammates, and maybe that's trauma. I don't
That
know.
is most
Can you
definitely
blame him,
trauma.
bro? Can you blame him?
Can I blame him? No, but if I'm building a team, I need someone with a lot of trust. He's been someone who's been known to be difficult to work with outside of the server. Um, I don't know. I've never been too high on him. He had a great year on complexity, performing really well against not a lot of great teams. I think this year is going to be a real true test for whether or not he is who he thinks he can be.
It's a big test.
And I genuinely want him in that phase team to succeed. I really like that phase core. Um, I want to see North American players do well. I'm just not sold on the bald eagle. I don't know.
I think you could
It's a lot of gut
definitely-
feel in this one. I'm not gonna lie.
You can definitely see though that the respect that he has for the phase core and Kerrigan in specific is like it greatly outweighs any sort of respect he'd have for his prior teammates or leaders or like it's not even close. Another thing is
Mhm.
I heard Kerrigan talking about it on the Nico podcast, him Nico, where he
Yep.
was like, "This is the first time I have like an actual secondary voice since Nico was on my team. Where like I have somebody who can piggyback ideas off me."
He said that, but there's also a lot of interviews from the time when Twist was on that team where he talks about
Yeah.
Twist being that guy. So it was kind of weird, not gonna lie.
You gotta gas up your boy though. You just picked him
You
up.
gotta,
but
100%, you
for
gotta.
sure.
And he's also
Yeah,
talking
but-
to Nico, so he's probably trying to gas him up like that.
it's a double whammy, double
That's true
glaze.
too. I think kind of what he was getting at it with is, do you think he ever trusted Twist to call the CT side? Probably not. Take that much. heads
No,
on,
but
right?
I don't know how I feel about
Yeah, I don't know. If he'll
4 out
match
of their
it, bro.
5 or 4 out of their 6 maps. Like Alicia's calling CT sides. I mean, shit. The way Twist calls CT sides on Liquid, maybe he should have been doing that.
Yeah, as long as he stays away
But-
from the other side, I'm fine. Uh, if he called CT sides only, he might be on my ranking list. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he might be in the top 15.
I think with Elige, it's really hard to rank him right now. Like
I
as
agree.
you said, he's got that PTCD, bro, that post-traumatic complexity disorder. He's got to integrate a little bit into this EU like tier 1
Yeah.
roster,
And we've
and
seen
it
him
will
do,
take a little time.
We've seen him be a lights out player in tier
We
1.
know
when
he
has
can
the two
shoot
assists.
at the
Yeah.
highest level, bro. We
So
know.
I don't
we
think
know
him
the
beating
skill.
up on bad teams is the reason he was so good last year. But
Josh, you got any thoughts on your boy Elige?
It's just the greatest North American to ever live.
oh, that's
Who
wrong.
ever live?
Yeah.
You ever heard of
Apart
Martin
from
Luther
Nico,
King Jr.?
apart from
Bro forgot
Kiko.
about tens.
Forgot about Martin Luther King, man.
Apart
This
from
is the
Yeah.
greatest North American ever. That's crazy.
Well,
Martin
Where's
Luther
this-
King, Hiko. I
What
don't
about
know. Their
Obama?
impact,
I don't
Okay.
know, man.
their
Alright.
impact it's undeniable.
The
you're
impact
right.
of Elige is being kind of crazy. Martin
It
Luther
is.
King
He's
only in
probably-
North America.
Does
Elige,
Martin
even
Luther King have a
Europe.
grand slam, bro? I don't
He
think so.
doesn't.
No,
Did
but
Martin
he
Luther
has
King
a
ever
dream.
play in Europe? He didn't.
Does Elige have a dream?
He's
Yeah,
got
I
a
think he
dream
does.
He's got
I
a
think he has
dream.
nightmares.
to win shit.
He
He's
closes his
definitely
eyes and he
nightmares.
sees Halzerk miss a shot.
Then he opens them and he sees bro, he missed 2 more.
Miss a shot.
Oh, who do you
All right, we're going into
Alright.
number 12.
Whoa,
Damn,
whoa.
Jay. Damn, Jay.
Whoa.
Let's see. Nerds. Team
How are you gonna
Liquid
put Nerds
Yeah,
New
19?
Edition. Jay, speak your piece,
I
brother.
can justify this one pretty easily. I think Nertz is having a fucking fantastic start to the year. I really didn't weigh his performance at the first 2 events that highly. I know he ended the year strong as well, but kind of on a team that wasn't doing too much, my opinion. They had a good end to the year, but I don't know. 19's a little crazy. I was rushed. No, it's tough. Like I think he has top 10 potential this year. I just wasn't too high on his first half to last year.
That's
Maybe
fair.
I weighed that too strong, but
It is a little weird to weigh that like highly, I would say.
I just think
Um,
it's again like John. You mentioned the metric you used was like I'm building a team. Where am I putting
Yeah.
it? Where am I placing these guys? I don't know if Nurse is the kind of player that I build around. Maybe that's faded. I don't know.
I think it's faded just because of how versatile he is as a player.
He's so good, man.
He's
Like
very
we've
good.
seen him be that like we've seen him hard entry before. We've seen him lurk entry or like lurk like work openings before.
You haven't seen him win.
Um,
Show me some wins.
He's a space taker, man. He takes
is.
he's
fucking
a like,
space.
and he does it so like effectively with like minimal resources. Like I don't know, man. I think he's so good.
He's a very good player, and I think he.
Like I thought he was robbed for not being in the HLTV top 20 last.
Yeah, that
season.
was brutal. That was brutal.
Like, I think I had him on my personal list at like 14. Like, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think a lot of people forget how long the first half of last year was, and how many ghosts there were. Not that Nurse was a ghost, but he wasn't a top 20 player in the first half of last year.
I don't know. That's definitely arguable, especially considering like the team situation he was thrusted into after all his boys left him for a bag.
Yeah, but like we can't make caveats like that if we're not gonna like I don't
It's
know
not
like
caveat. That's just context.
But he ended up on a team with not a lot of help, and he still performed exceptionally well.
Yeah, bro. He was still dropping like one
Like
point.
like what you talked about.
1.15.
Like what you talked about, were like, oh, Mouse is going to be shit, but you know what? Spinks is going to be hitting shots. That's literally what Nerds was doing on Heroic. They had Nikodos as their opper at the start of the
Heroic
season.
shit and Mouse's shit is very different. I think Mouse can still make semis of tournaments. I don't see them winning tournaments. Heroic hit like a second gear, and they kind of clicked at the end of last year. They looked really good, and that kind of propelled, I think, Nerds in the way he was playing, got him on Liquid, and I think he's gonna have a strong year. I just, as at present, I couldn't justify like a top 10. That's crazy to me.
I don't know. To me, we've seen him excel on ends as in like a top 5 team before, win trophies before. Like
I don't think he was robbed from HLTV.
Additionally, you were clowning me for taking into account early last year for Wonderful.
For who?
For Wonderful. You're saying that was a whole year ago.
I have him ranked 10.
That was me. I think you're getting mixed up with.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Nah, Jay specifically said, yeah, that was a year ago. That was a whole year ago.
I don't remember what you're referring
to. Recording, leave a comment, expose Jay.
Wait, for which player sponsoring? Wonderful?
For Wonderful.
This guy's just waffling.
That was
second half of last year, Nertz was undoubtedly a top 20 player. And then especially at the major, he was one of the fucking best players.
Yeah, no,
at the major,
if this was a power ranking for the second half of last year and beginning of this year, then yeah, he's top 10.
Pretty much what it is, brother.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Nah, you know what? Wait till you see my number 8 selection. His name is Nothing. He's insane, bro. He's had a bit of a washed last 5 years, but
go next. I'm not justifying this any more than I have. I think this is valid. You guys are
you're faded. You're faded as hell. All right. Number 11.
Let's go, Spen.
Josh.
Whoa.
With the number 6. Who is that?
The disparity here is.
It's Frozen.
Wow.
Do you watch the games?
Interesting, Josh.
Did you watch the games?
Yeah, I watch the games. I don't wake up at 6 a.m. for the Liquid ones, though.
I think he's the star of FaZe now, and I need him on my team.
He's the star at number 6 now, and I need him on my team. That's arguable. Like, I think him and Elijah are the stars of FaZe now.
I think it comes down to how Elijah ends up fitting in.
But
I
don't
disagree.
Because you're the star of a brand name
over Elijah.
Yeah, but like just because you're the star of a team doesn't mean you're instantly slotted in. Like, dude, who is it in your top 6?
You'll see. You'll see.
Like, let's think about that. Who does he not have in his top 6?
You'd rather
probably.
We'll see.
I don't have Santaris in my top 6.
Delusional.
Yes, you do, bro. This guy's just yapping. Like, I think Frozen this year, if anything, he's underwhelmed for me.
I think we ranked him perfectly.
As expectations, what I was expecting was a more comfortable Frozen. Obviously, it's the start of the year, new player. It's going to be a lot
of role mashup.
Yeah, a lot of role. Like, he's switching roles for a lot of spots. So it is going to be a learning, like, not a learning curve, but it's going to take him a bit of time to get back into that mode. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I think even still, he can't be lower than like 15. And then I just can't put him higher than like 10 as of what I've seen as of late from him, but I know he can
I feel
reach
like
like
the
a top
10,
6 level for sure. At
the
his
top
peak, he
10
could.
is pretty like set in stone, right? Like I think it's hard to break someone out of the top 10.
Uh,
Mm, I don't think the top 10's as solid. I think like 6 is where the solidity of like a list kind of falls apart.
Well, you see my friend Josh here. He is frozen at number 6.
Exceptions make the rule,
I
dude.
can't wait to see your
yeah.
number 7.
All right, let's go to number 10. Number 10.
Okay.
Oh, who am I very high on here? Oh, yeah, JL.
JL. Number 10.
I get
We
it.
talked a little bit of him falling off as of recent, and that's what I was taking into account strongly, especially like the last couple months of 2025 and
Yeah,
going into
me
this year
too.
as well. He definitely had an amazing year. Not taking away anything from that. I thought he was the number 4 best player last year. I think did he get 4 or 5?
I
Can't
think he
remember.
got 4.
You got 5.
He got
Um,
5.
Did
Nico
Nico
got
get
4.
4?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
maybe.
Nico did get 4. Regardless, he's still certainly a top 10 caliber player.
Absolutely.
Um, I just think like he hasn't changed his game that much, and he's just not performing at even remotely close to the same level, which leads me to believe that people are starting to catch on to like some of his his antics and his playstyle. Because when he came into Navi, he was more or less an unknown quantity, right?
Yeah.
Coming
That's
from
true.
Apex, that was his first shot in tier 1, and he ran with it. Like props to JL. I like him as a player. But I just think as of late and at this current time, there's about 10 guys I'd want over him.
He's one of my favorite players to watch. I we mentioned it earlier, but like I do think this is almost certainly something mental or a team dynamic, or I don't think it's the play style. I don't, especially I don't know. You talked about
It's
Wonderful and
it's
his
not
ability
entirely
to
the
you
playstyle.
talked about Wonderful earlier and his ability to pull like nothing out of a hat. I think that's literally JL's calling card. I think he's
Yeah.
quite literally probably maybe him a donk is the best player just winning it like what the fuck just happened kind of round.
The thing is, he was doing a lot. Like he was super successful with that last year, and that's what propelled him to be like such a good
But I
player.
don't think he's
I
lost that this year.
I haven't seen that from him at all. Like I've been seeing him playing his usual positions. His fucking B anchor on Ancient has been terrible. That used to be his bomb site, bro.
Yeah.
That used to be him locking that shit down, like with one
I
other guy,
think a
even
lot of
solo
B anchors on
sometimes.
Ancient have been taking hits though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just a position that's kind of
I just think
figured out
if
on the
you're a
T
top
side.
5 player, like who else? If you're like he was the probably him and Nico were like undisputed best B bomb site holders on Ancient, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he's in that conversation right now. Like, I don't think I could think of 3 individuals I would take on that position
No, I
over him.
know, but of course, because we have such a small sample size for this year, but I'm saying his performance, even in his standard positions, has just taken a massive
It's
dip,
taking
and
a
it's
dip.
like
I will say though, his floor is not as bad as a lot of floors. I don't think he has absolute ghost games. I do
I don't
think
know.
though
He's had some stinkers.
the past 3 to 4 months have been very hard. Like since the major, it's been very very hard. I just have so much faith he'll bring it back that like I don't know. I felt even weird putting him at 9 because of dude 2 months ago he was the 5th best player in the world.
Yeah.
Like
I think like looking back to my ranking, I'm thinking maybe 7 was a little high. Maybe I could have came to around J at 9. But again, I'm going to come back to like this is a question of like picking players to build a team around. And I think Jay or Spen, I forget which one of you touched on it. There's a lot of team dynamic stuff that seems to be off in Navi right now. And while I don't think this should happen, I think JL would benefit heavily from a roster change of him going to a different team. All of a sudden, fresh feelings, fresh blood, get a little cheery, a little honeymoon phase, happy go lucky. Again, I don't think it should happen. I think he's a great fit on Navi. I also think
what
he's a
happened
player
to
that
the
is super
vibe
dynamic. You
squad?
can throw him in a lot of awkward positions and he'll make do. And I find that very valuable in crafting a team.
I agree.
But I do think maybe 7 was a little high now that I'm like kind of like rethinking the list in my head and like recent performances. Um, but yeah, I still think that he's got it. Like yeah.
Yeah.
The second Navi kind of like patches the cracks, like you kind of said earlier, and like the ship rights itself, and they start clicking again, we could be talking in like 6 months in our post Cologne ranking, being like, dude, JL is just like a top 5 guy again. He's just him. Like, who knows?
But
It's
where did
only
the
one
vibes?
him.
Where did the
Am I
vibes
right,
go?
Josh?
It's only one him. Yes.
Where did the
Correct.
vibes go? That's my biggest question, dude. I remember he was literally the only person like preventing Simple from raging.
Yeah.
Like,
And somehow now he's the tense one.
now he's the one, right? Like, dude,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Went through some
Yeah.
shit.
I have a theory that I won't say publicly, but I'll say after. I'll say
Okay.
off.
Okay.
Let's not include that.
No, we're not including it, but I'll tell you guys later. It's a fucked up theory, but it's a theory.
Josh, you got any
Mm.
thoughts on this ranking, or you agree with what's been said?
I think JF fell off. Pretty much what you guys said. He for sure has the potential to go higher. But right now, I think of him as an emotional player, as you guys said. He reminds me of Kenny S. He has insane peaks, but when he's not in the mood, he just is not him. There's only one him.
Fair enough. There is only one him.
This episode of The Off Angle is brought to you by Coffee for Closers. There it is. Let me ask you guys a hypothetical. Let's say it's 4 a.m. You're 4 games away from top 1K North America. You're 2,600 ELO. You're almost there. You can taste it. But you're getting tired. What do? Do you go to sleep? Do you call it a night? Do you let the other people get ahead? No, because the answer is simple. You go upstairs, plug in your pot of coffee, and you brew a fresh pot of coffee for closers. This isn't your regular average grocery store pot of coffee. This is Colombian sourced high performance coffee. It's fuel made for people like me and you. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to coffeeforclosers.co, spelling below. You're going to get a fresh bag. Enjoy the show.
All right, moving on to number 9. We got a nice mix of answers here. 8, 9, 10, 11. Beautifully. That just looks amazing. A drum roll, please. Nico Kovac. Little fall from grace
All
for
from
Nico.
grace, yeah.
Even though we all kind of are in agreement in this ranking.
He will
What are
be
you guys'
back.
thoughts?
He'll
be back?
I can go first.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think he got nerfed on this new team for sure. There's nothing else.
Don't say
But
that again.
if I think about it, like if he goes back to G2, like alleged, like just thinking about it, right? He's much better than number 9 in my eyes.
Like if he stayed on the team?
Yeah, I think he's so much better in G2. But if the team gets better, he'll be better. I think he's like looking back at Nico, I think he gets tilted at teammates, but he managed to get better at it. At least externally. But he still does internally. And with this heroic core coming in, I think he gets tilted. He's not liking it. And that's why he's number 11 right now. But when the Falcons team gets better, it's gonna be so much better for him.
I'll be honest, like I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think Nico's been around long enough to kind of understand the growing pains that are going to come with this Falcons team. Also, just a quick point, as expected, but they ran through, or at least he individually ran through the Dallas qualifiers. He like
Wow.
really...
Nico running through the Dallas online tier 2 qualifiers, dude.
Okay.
This guy's insane.
Known onliner Nico Kovac? That's
We're
crazy.
doing this. We're doing this now. Is that what we're doing? Anyways, they had a close 1-2 against G2. They kind of got blown away by EF. I mean, they ran through Bet Boom, who you guys are all pretty high on, no? Online qualifier, but
Yeah. I
Online
still think
qualifier.
Bet Boom's like a top 15 team. They're nothing like insane.
fair enough. I'm excited to see them at Cluj. Because they are one of the teams that are actually there. I think like this is just a natural step back while he kind of rights the ship with Falcons, and then as they climb the rank, he's gonna be back in the top 5. It's Nico.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. Guaranteed.
I don't think this
I don't
move
know.
to Falcons
I don't know about
is
top
like
5.
I
Yeah.
don't think this move to Falcons is like a death sentence for his career. He's still that guy. He's still gonna be that player. I know, Josh, he's not 1 and 25th or whatever the fuck you had Donk at, but like he'll be fine.
Okay, so I think of Falcons like when he was on, was it Mouse? with the German team. Yeah, I think that's the
Bitty
German
Dennis,
team.
Chris J.
Yeah, those
Shut up.
guys. And that's why he's number 11 right now.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, number 11.
Yeah.
I don't. Not having him in the top 10 feels
That's
disrespectful
fair.
to me.
I thought I kind of had a hard time putting him at 9. I was gonna put him higher, to be honest.
I was gonna
like
put him
you,
at
Jay.
7. And I moved in last second.
Yeah, it's just I think it might be a little biased for me, but I kind of like the players a little more coming up just because of their versatility, and they kind of play the like some of them don't even play the star roles and they're still producing at really high levels, which I value a lot. So yeah, speaking of which, let's hop in to number 8.
Ooh, Jay, we agreed.
My boy.
Flamesy.
Oh, explain this one, John.
Mr. Flamesy. Outside the top 10 for you, Jonathan.
Damn, full Govey. I really like Flamesy as a player. I think maybe
Doesn't
this
look like
could
it.
have been higher for me.
I mean, I still think top 11 is pretty good.
I do too. I
Definitely.
just
Yeah, I'm
think
thinking maybe if I like pulled JL back a little bit, pulled Flamesy a little higher, my list might make a
Mhm.
little more sense in my head now looking back. But I think my one main thought process is, and I've kind of talked about this back with the wonderful Woxic talk. This guy is now option number 3 on his team. And he was originally that when Spinks was playing exceptionally well. And then obviously he outgrew Spinks on the team for who they rely on and what they need. And obviously he's an entry, which is a harder role, and he's exceptionally like great at it. But again, if I'm building a team, I want guys who either are hard to come by in what they're able to produce for their team, or they are that one option, two option type of guy. Which I think he is on other teams. It's just Vitality is stacked.
I mean, can you not make the argument he was a number 2 on Vitality last year? At least the
He
second half
was
of
for
last
the
year.
second half of the year. Like, I think I just said that.
yeah,
Like,
I would
for the most
also
part,
take it
he
further
outgrew
though.
Spinks.
I would make the argument that on any given day he can be number 2 on this team. I think on paper you definitely slot Robson ahead of him, but I think we've seen Robs have very, very drastic inconsistencies, and when that
Rob's
happens,
had a rough year last year, but
At the start, right?
the
the
major
entire
and
year besides
Kato
Kato in the
has
major.
been fucking amazing.
No, I agree, and I think when Robs is playing good, he's a top 5 player in the world. Like I think
Yeah,
Robs has that high
yeah,
of a ceiling.
I
I just
agree.
think we've seen very low floors for very long stretches of time, and I think
Hmm.
because Robs is prone to those, Flamesy has what it takes to not only bridge the gap when that happens, but also show that he can be a top 10 player in the world. So I don't know. I
Hmm.
think Rops's inconsistencies kind of allow for him to be, yeah, maybe a third option, but a really, really valuable third option, and sometimes even slotting into the second option. I think he's the kind of guy who runs with it, as we've seen with Spinks. So
And to add on to that, Flamesy's the kind of guy where even if he's having like a negative game, like KD wise,
Still
I
has
still feel like
impact.
he's so impactful,
he's
man.
very
Yeah,
Like
he's
impactful.
positive impact. Yeah.
he never goes a game where I'm like, yo, where the fuck is Flamesy? I'm always like, dude, he's always visible on the map. He's
It's almost
always
the reverse. Like, wait, he had that bad of a map? Where?
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think taking that into account,
That's
I
fair. Yeah. Like I
had
said,
him
I think I probably could have had him a little higher.
fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
All right, number 7. A little bit of a polarizing ranking here.
4.
We're gonna see Rops, the aforementioned
What are
player.
you doing, Josh?
Hey, he's back.
Big Robin Cool fan over here. After
So we're
claiming
only
the
talking
move to
about Kato.
Vitality,
Listen,
after claiming the move was ass.
I categorized
I forgot
for
about
relevance, right? So everything is relevance. They won Kato, he has to be up there. That's my ranking right now.
This is horrible out of you. This is the worst shit I've ever seen. I guess I'm the biggest outlier, so I'll just say it's what I just said, his consistency. I think he's a top 5 player when he's playing at his peak. I think we haven't seen his peak outside of the major in Kato, so I guess we're kind of seeing it again, but he went a whole year of kind of being a really, really poor version of himself, so I couldn't excuse the entire year for 2 events and been like, okay, he's back, But if he keeps this up, then yeah, I mean, he's somewhere around there.
I just think it's worth noting, even before the major, he was starting to have like an uptick in performance. And when you look at his career as a whole, it was a slump. But every other time outside of that slump, he has been in the top 10 consistently. And when you start to see his form rise back into the like, oh shit, Rops is like, there's only one him, but him again. Like, oh damn, he's taking over games. He's finding space where it should never exist and getting a two-piece. And oh look, they just took a round that they should never ever win, and it's won because of Robs.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see him do that again, and it's like, wow.
I will say, I think if there's one player who makes the biggest leap in top, like where he ranked last year to this year, it's probably Robs. I could literally see him being the 5th best player in the world this year, all year.
Yeah, I mean,
just
if
couldn't
this
justify the
Vitality
beginning,
project continues to click as it is,
Yeah.
it could be scary.
Yeah, I think when he's finding his timings, bro, like there's not a better lurker in the game, honestly. And
Yeah.
this Vitality team having that is such a luxury, man. Like Zaiwu on one side of the map, you got Rops doing his thing on the other side of the map. Like you're chilling if you're Apex at this
Also,
point,
just
man.
a player who takes, in my opinion, he takes very little resources to excel on the CT side, which I think when you already have Zaiwu, who's kind of the same way, like he's not like a, I don't. I think you can throw different resources at your lesser players on this roster because your two quote unquote best players are so low maintenance.
They can do a lot individually, yeah.
Something that Vitality was really good at doing with Spinks, and I'm expecting them to also be good at it with Rops, is to run a lot of 1-3-1 setups where you just kind of let Zaiwu work an ISO pick with the op at a part of the map. You let Spinks space crate in another part of the map, and then you have like a unit of they were doing this with Spinks.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting them to start doing it with Rops as well. And then all of a sudden, like Dust 2, it's like, yeah, we're just going to send Zaiwu to work the pick on the B guy.
Yeah.
He'll get it eventually. I think Spirit also does that with like Shiro, for example. And then it's like, okay, Rops, we're going to have a unit of 3 guys, Flamesy, Apex, and Mezzy. We're going to take cat control. We're going to be working a lot of pressure on these A-long guys. Just go out A-long doors whenever the hell you feel like it. You'll get your 1, you'll get your 2, the round's over. And if they can consistently start to bring that into other aspects of other maps, like, whew, yeah. So I think the fact that he's so low resource, and you pair that up again with Zaiwu, who's low resource, this Vitality team can truly be scary.
I agree.
As Josh can attest to.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was really high on this move, and
Worst move of the year, by the way.
I think it's exceeded everyone's expectations as of right now, to be honest.
I don't know. I think 3 of us knew this was going to work out.
I don't think we were
I
gonna.
think I described
I
it
don't
as a
think we were
perfect
saying
puzzle piece.
He was. Nobody said he was gonna play this good though, especially
might have.
like
Especially me.
I was pretty
I
high.
didn't believe.
into the year.
I didn't believe.
Yeah, we know, Josh.
Don't worry, we're gonna make a little
Alright.
compilation. We're gonna get that clip, fill it with this clip.
Like what? Like a month later, was it? No, how long was it? Whatever.
3 days later, number 4.
All right, moving on. Number 6.
Wow.
Oh, it was almost perfect.
Pretty similar rankings here.
Shocker.
Let's see who it is. Shiro, the number 6 player.
I don't think 9's justifiable.
Yeah, Josh, that's kind of crazy. Coming from a Shiro hater myself, I had a really hard time putting him lower than 6. That bounty performance was unreal from a Shiro standpoint. He didn't have a bad Katowice at all, I would say.
No, and they're coming off a major win. He's easily their second best player.
Yeah, they're coming off a major.
This
He's
is
still
kind of
doing
puzzling.
I just see
thing.
two oppers that are better than him.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
both
but you have
the
him at 9.
second and
Yeah,
third ranked
but
player
you
in the
have
world.
him at
Now he's at
9.
9.
Yeah. So he's my 9th pick. You could see it.
Your 9th pick.
Okay,
That's fair.
sure.
I think it comes to a point where Shiro, even though I do believe he is a little bit of a stat hunter, it comes to a point where you just can't argue the stats anymore. And his impact on the op, as much as he saves it, he's getting the easy kills. It's rarely you see Shiro miss the easy kills. very steady hand, and he has the ability to pop off and go crazy some maps. So low
Yeah.
floor, high ceiling player.
Dude, the
In my
difference between
opinion.
him and Wonderful is Wonderful doesn't hit the easy shots.
Yeah.
This is something I wanted to touch on, where
But he
it's
also
like,
goes for way more crazy peaks and
yeah, but
situations.
imagine if he could hit
Yeah.
the shots Shiro hits, where he's just holding across.
Yeah, I mean, Shiro's doing that all fucking game. He better hit the shot. That's all he does.
no, right, no. But right now in CS, there's not a lot of operas that can consistently hit those
I know.
clean shots. And I think that is I was also not as big as you, Spen, but like I was a bit of a Shiro hater. Like I felt he was a bit of a fraud. I think
Mhm.
Jame took a lot of the flack that should have also be put on Shiro.
That's valid. Very
But
similar.
dude, his ability to just knock the easy ones down without a doubt, without a worry. I can think of every team other than Spirit and G2 wanting that on their team.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like,
I think he's
like-
even better than Monacy at it, to be honest. Monacy has some
I think,
very
yeah,
rare like.
yeah, I
Dude,
know
if
what you're getting.
Shiro
at,
is scoped, he is killing you. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
Except if he's the only one alive.
If he's scoped and not having to do a movement input, you're dead.
Yeah.
But if he has to start like getting a little bit awkward with it, it starts to
I agree.
like he'll still hit nice shots, but yeah. But
Also
I'd
very
rather
good-
have an opera that can get me consistent results, like just straight up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the device method. And
Yeah.
Shiro is also, I think we touched on it already, very good clutcher.
Mhm.
Yes.
So you got to add that. He's got the clutch factor.
And when you're in a team with Donk, like he gets two, you get two. That's basically around.
He's the only guy in a 1v2 where I'm like, oh, he's probably got this. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
my
1v2.
money's not on the field.
Damn. I'm scared. 1v3, I'm hunting. This guy's already in long.
Yeah,
You know
no.
what I mean?
1v3, he has a fucking back pocket deagle out in a corner. He's sitting in the TV room.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's a very solid player. We like to
Yep.
make fun, but he's been great this year. Number 5. Hold your applause. Josh with the number 10.
Yo, Josh just got fucking fade.
It's Bit.
I was gonna place him higher, to be honest.
I've heard that
You
4
know,
times.
30 minutes is not enough. 30 minutes is not enough. Guys.
If only you had a week.
The 30 minutes was on you, but that's fine. Where would you
This
put him
is-
if you could raise him up, you think?
I would agree with you, Spencer. Number 5.
Number 5?
Yes.
Sound.
I think
Let's
he's
see
the
who
best
else.
player right now on the second best team in the world. I don't know.
I don't think he's the second best team in the world.
Yeah, I don't think
Third
Navi's
best
the
team in the
best.
world. I don't know how we're throwing
I don't
Vitality
think they're
over them.
third best team in the world. I think they gotta go like fifth.
I'll put it on 4th. I'll
What?
put it on 4th.
I'm joking.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
have a feeling the
mean,
next player is actually the best player on the third best team, but who knows?
Who knows?
I'm not
We'll
trying to do
see.
that
It's
math
a
right now.
mystery. It's a mystery who
It's
number 4 is,
mystery.
honestly. But yeah,
there's
Bit,
no
he's
dialogue here. I don't know. He's great.
he's always, yeah, there's not much to say. Like, he's always been a fucking beast, man. Like,
Yeah.
his aim is always on point. Jay's on record calling him undisputed best aimer in the game, not even close, no one close second.
That's not what I said.
Other than that,
Yeah,
he's
that is
leveled
exactly
up
what
this
you
year
said.
too, though.
I
He's
said-
literally leveled up. Okay, no one cares about the aim thing. All right, no one cares.
Don't be misquoting me, man. Not at midnight.
He's leveled up to the fact where he had like a 1.3 on land before Kato playoffs. It did drop a little due to their spirit game, but man, he's been the shining star of Navi, which was like last year Navi we saw it was pretty much more of a team, like a collective effort. This year, it's not even a debate, man. Bit is winning them like so many rounds single-handedly. Especially on CT side, bro. This guy is a fucking turret, bro. Don't even get me started about that Imperial FE game on Mirage, where he's just like running through smokes, getting 4Ks. Like, these guys can't find him anywhere on the site. He's so elusive. It's like, I can't
think
really
you
say anything bad about Bit,
You
man.
can say now with confidence, Navi has a star player. It just sucks that it came after their other components decided to like stop showing up to tournaments.
I mean, you
but-
could argue he was still like a star. Maybe
yeah,
not
but
like
they have a guy now. Like they have like a top 5 impact.
No,
will come back.
I think Bit and JL were very clearly stars of that team.
Yeah, I think they're really close. But now it's like Bit leveled up and JL came down a bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Bit's like Phil Ivey, if you think about it. He's like a cold guy, makes the right
Yup.
decisions.
ooh, I like
Blade-
this.
Blade taught him. Like Blade taught him. real
Okay.
good.
Yo, who do you got for number 4, man? Phil
Who's
Ivey.
Daniel Negreanu? That's my question.
You know who Phil Ivey is?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Number 4,
Goat poker player.
the man himself, Zantares.
What's there to say?
This is yeah. There's not much to say, man.
I see. I
It's-
shoot. I kill.
It's been a delight.
Zantares peak. If you have a
Yeah.
peak named after you, automatic top 5 player in the game.
poverty peak. That's
Well, he's had a peak for a while, but this year he's been able to have a supporting cast good enough to where he can prove it on big stages, which we most likely always knew he was capable of. But with no real hard evidence to back that up, it's kind of hard to justify him in these top 10 talks. Now, dude, there's no debating it, man.
I will
He
say,
is
though,
he's lights out.
we've seen. So he really didn't have a good showing in the finals at Blast.
Yeah, he had an off series.
I also don't think his last series at Kato is very good. Not to say that there's like some kind of like he's one of the guys who like.
I mean, he had a 113 in a series loss where like next on his team was like a 0.9 something.
Is that at Kato?
it was a crazy.
That was the
discrepancy in that
Mongol series
The
in
Mongol
Kato that
series,
they got
yeah.
eliminated from.
Okay, I didn't know he had a 113. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me-
bro was like pulling the
Let me
Woxic
backpedal
disappeared on that.
Let me backpedal what I said here. Let me just roll it back. Yeah, Zantares is like 4th or 5th best player in the world.
Yeah.
That's it. I was unaware of that. I thought he
Donk
performed
before
worse at
Donk
Kato.
was cool, man.
Yeah.
Turkish donk.
Some would
Turkish
say
Donk.
Turkish Braxton.
Some would say Russian Zantares.
Braxton.
No one would say that, Sid. Not one person would say that.
No? Okay.
No.
I could see
Alright.
it though. I see the vision though.
Sure. This one I feel like we're gonna be divided on.
This next one?
Yeah.
Number 3.
Really?
I do.
Let's see.
Never.
So pretty
Josh,
good.
what the fuck?
Yo,
Monacy,
Who did you
not
have at
a
4 and
top
5?
3 player.
At 4?
4 was Rops.
Yeah,
Oh,
he had
that is
Rops
fucking
and Zantares.
faded.
Josh, you care to make your argument here?
He's my second upper. There's one more upper that I would like on my team rather than him.
What about
So
riflers,
we're
bro?
just being dumb, huh? What does that have to do with anything?
I mean, he's number 5. Still, he's on my team.
What do
First
you mean?
All NBA team right here.
But you're saying Rops and Zantares you'd rather have over him right now.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Right now, like in okay.
Right now, yes.
According to
Gotta
the
talk your way out
relevance
of
of
this one.
Kato and
This
the
day.
team that it's on right now, he's okay, performing okay. The past year, yes, he performed great. He was amazing. But Kato, he was okay.
This one
So you
tournament
think-
where they went through a roster change where they lost their second best player who called their entire CT side?
Yeah.
What?
So you're just omitting the
Have you
insane number
considered that
2
now
year he
that-
had last year?
I mean, he's still number 5. Isn't that good?
That's
No, not for
crazy.
him.
Rops
No,
went
guys,
from like
guys.
outside the top 20 to number 4.
I already said my statement. Like for me, it goes by relevance. That's why I thought about power ranking relevance. So Kato was
Your
the more
ranking of
relevant.
Monacy is
It is.
irrelevant. How about that? How about we do that?
Okay.
It is
Okay.
power rankings, but stacking them up against each other, bro. Who would you rather take? I'm taking Monacy. I had trouble putting Zaiwu over Monacy,
Me
dude.
too.
I did not struggle to do that. Have you guys considered that now that Nico's gone, Monacy can take on more of a role in the team so he no longer has the edge of doing less?
No, because he's so good it doesn't matter.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a little off base, Josh. I know it's only like a
Okay.
2 rank difference, but it's like I think there's such a
But
sizable
we're
gap
talking about the gap
between the top
Monacy
3 and like 4 or
4.
5.
Okay, yes, I had 30 minutes to make this list.
Oh, here
gonna-
we go again.
You
with
had
the
30 minutes and you
minutes.
fucked up the 3 easiest ones.
It's just top 3, bro. I mean, top 5.
No
I
That's
think the
fine.
gap
No
between
excuse for
Monacy and
this one.
Nico, who was 4th last year, was sizable.
Yeah.
There was no. he could have put up a 0.8 at Kato, and I'd be like, he was probably sick. He's still number 3. Like, what are we doing?
Well, he
Just
did
go.
drop like 1 ranking for me. Like I had him ranked 2
Well,
at the
that's
end of
only
last year.
because
So I was an
Vitality
MVP.
won.
He performed exceptionally
Yeah.
well, and Mondesi struggled. So like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's the
agree. I
punishment.
did the
You're
exact
no
same
longer
thing.
number 2, buddy. Yeah.
It was definitely
Yeah,
close for
he'd
me.
have to kill my mother to drop to number 4, though. Like,
It
Speaking
might
of
be a nice
Zywoo,
flick too. Zai
for
who?
number 2,
okay.
it's unanimous. We
Ooh,
got
scary.
the intimidating Zywoo picture right there, ready to fuck some shit up. But yeah, as we said before, not much to touch on this. It's pretty
He's the
self-explanatory,
second
I
or
would
third best player
say.
in the world right now, man. No one's touching Donk.
Yeah.
If we really want to see some change in the top 2 rankings, we need to bring back the GOAT who's streaming
We
on
we,
Face
we need the
TV.
result of what happened at Kato to replicate itself
2
at
or
Pro
3
League,
times.
at the major, and then it's like, you know what? I think Zai's number 1 again.
But we
Nah, I
also
still
need to
couldn't
see
get that
Donk
far, bro.
individually fall off. And like I think what we just
That
seen from him
too.
was like the worst we'll see in a while.
And honestly, it would take a roster move for me. Like, I would need to see an upgraded Spirit roster, and then if he was still under Zywoo, I'd be like, okay, you got it,
Bro,
bro.
Donk just does
No,
that's a little too far.
if Zywoo pulls
I don't
like
think that's
another
too
like
far at all.
2, like if he's major MVP and he pulls like MVP at either what's it called?
Clone.
EPL or not Cologne. Cologne's a little too far in distance. I'm talking about like specifically this season. Like if they Dallas is the tournament beforehand.
Mhm.
Like if he does like if he has a great Dallas EPL and major and he pulls like 2 of those 3 MVPs and they're beating Donk in the finals consistently, I don't think it's crazy to be like, yeah, Zywoo's moving into that number 1 slot again.
I think what
definitely
would
not
really make a
crazy.
change to me would be head to head. Like if head to head Vitality finds a way to continuously disrupt Spirit the way Spirit has Navi, then I can make the justification a little bit easier. But at the
I
end
don't
of the
know.
day,
I don't
man,
know if I
like
agree with that.
I think the impact that
I
Donk
think it still matters. Like if
has,
Donk like Vitality shut Donk down.
Okay, but Vitality has a way better roster on paper. They like
yeah, but to say
it's
they have
not
a way
even
better
close.
roster
More
than the major
equalized.
winners,
I
like
see
I'm
the-
sorry, I'm not giving you a roster caveat when you just won the major.
Or balance.
Like I'm not.
Yeah, they won the major when Magix was performing like a
Really well.
second
Yeah, like
star.
prior to the major, there was a lot of
Like-
talk about Magic's being dropped. Like,
Yeah, he was literally on
and
the
I know what
chopping
you're
block.
getting at, but like it's still
Like
very dependent on
it's
how
less
Donk
impressive
performs.
is what I'm saying. Like
It is.
sure he can put up like maybe slightly better ratings and they can win more tournaments. But if Donk is right there and still competing at the level that he's performed at, like yeah, as you said, it's gonna have to take a Donk fall off. Because even if they're still like Spirit, I don't see them finishing outside like the top 4 at like every event, right?
Yeah, they're like
If he's
they're
still going
perennial
deep in
playoff team.
tourneys and he's dropping like 1.5s, like
Yeah, but if he's doing that, he's going to still get MVPs even if they lose the tournament.
Donk?
Yeah, I mean, like
Nah.
Zywoo did this, Simple did this. They won MVPs on tournaments that they were losing because they had horrible teams.
Okay, you don't think Donk could do that?
I'm saying he could, but I'm saying if Zywoo is winning the MVP at these tournaments, it means he's
No, okay.
outperforming Donk at these tournaments.
That's not always true. MVPs are so like subjective, bro.
Sure.
Especially HLTV.
They can be
if a
close,
guy-
but sometimes they're not. Like
It can be close, but saying that a guy needs to win the MVP on the losing team to stay above the guy that's winning,
Yeah, that is.
I don't know. I think that's kind of crazy.
So do we all have Nico
I
Das at number 1?
guess.
Let me check actually.
I put 10s. I forgot which
Yeah.
game we were talking about.
I have Hiko.
Number 1, gold ranking. It's Donk.
It's noodle arms.
I can finally say why he's number 25.
Yeah.
He's the beginning and the end of Counter-Strike.
Oh my.
God, that's how we wrap the episode up. Someone send
That's
us off.
just so fucking wise of you,
God.
Josh.
Thank you, guys.
Somebody send
Appreciate
us
that.
off. He just hit us with fucking knowledge.
Well, there you have it. Donk at number 1, folks. We could go into a spiel and argue why he's the best player in the world, but I don't think we need to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. We hope you enjoyed this little top 20 segment. We're going to continue to try to do these maybe like 3 to 4 times a year, keep it fresh, see how our rankings fluctuate from time to time throughout the year, and it'll be fun to just go back and forth and see everyone's thoughts on current players, especially before heading into big tournaments and majors and stuff like that. So, yeah, everybody, you got anything to say? Any sign offs?
No, just probably the fact that Josh will have Rops back at number 38 before the next set of power rankings. So outside of
next
that, I think we're good to
list-
go.
The next list I'll make, I'm gonna roast Jay. Everything. I'll pull up stats, pull up everything I have under my
Yeah.
everything, and I'll roast Jay. That's it, guys.
Dude,
I'm
I'm
there
here
for
for
that,
it.
bro.
I love
at
roasting
number
Jay.
5, man.
I'm there for that,
Come on.
Josh. Just make sure you got more than 30 minutes to do so.
Okay, next
and-
time make Jay make a list in 30 minutes, and I'll have like a.
Well,
whole
I
month.
checked my email.
Let's
so
see what happens.
I checked
I sent
my
you
email.
guys the list all at the same day, just saying. But
I'm not gonna say anything. I fucked
it's
up.
neither
I
here nor
admit
there.
it.
It's neither here nor there. Josh, you're an honorable man, and I love you. You're handsome. All right, let's just
Yeah,
like
not
device,
device,
of course.
but
Like device.
not quite the vice, but like
Device. Josh.
you're the tier below. You're just the tier below. All right.
you're the
Yeah.
hero
Number one in
for
my
the
heart,
Vice's
Josh.
bit. All right, let's wrap this up.
All right.
Yeah, there's not a better note to end on.